It's like, what do you care about them? What do you care about those people? What difference does it make to you? Take care of your own life. Do the best you can for you and your family. What do the rest of the people mean to you? They don't mean anything to you. They're just serfs. They're just people. You know, what's the end goal? The end goal is to get everybody chipped, to control the whole society. They want a one-world government controlled by them. Everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. And if you're like me or you, and you're protesting what they're doing, they can just turn off your chip.
One, two. Welcome back, peasants. It's the one and only.
Rise above, generate, rise above, extinguish fear, rise above, abstract.
Oh, it feels good to be back, Andy PG.
Yes, it certainly does.
I do like this every other week format, 2 weeks. 1 week in between shows, every 2 weeks. Do you know why? It gives us a bit of a breather to inhale the peasant sphere.
Yeah, and we get a Saturday.
Yeah, and we get a Saturday. Before we regurgitate it back out to all our comrades.
Yeah, for sure.
So, it's Friday night. Big shout to everyone tuned in. Pollyanna, Rachel McCaskill, Casey Connolly. Big
116 peasants
116
currently.
already. Listen, I don't even know if we're actually broadcasting to Facebook at the moment.
I didn't get a notification. I'm still waiting for it.
Every single one of my posts on Facebook in the last couple of weeks when I've been trying to promote this show has basically got taken down. Let's have a quick look. Are we actually broadcasting?
I'm looking now. I haven't got a notification.
No, we're not even broadcasting to Facebook. We're basically only on YouTube this week. So do share this to all of your social medias. Let's get as many people tuned in as we can. It's going to be an action-packed show. I've been working hard on my schwabery.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you notice anything different about me, Andy PG?
You have lost a bit of weight recently.
No, I wasn't talking about that.
You've got something dangling from your neck, Lance.
This is the first time I've ever appeared on the Rise Above camera when I haven't been wearing
your amulet,
the Ramish the crown jewels of Farangistan. Right, everyone knows that I normally have my chain with my Ramulet and my icons and stuff on. Right, for the first time ever, I'm not going gold this week. I'm going silver. Check this out. Can everyone see that? This is the prototype Rise Above pendant from Liberty Silver Designs. I don't know if you can properly see it on the camera.
Yeah, they got that good.
You got it good. Big shout to Liberty Silver Designs, King of Sting and KC. I can see it now.
He's watching. He's
here he is.
What? Oh boy.
So guys,
what?
if you want to put your contact details for people if they want to get hold of this sterling silver Ramish pendant, put your contact details in the chat. They're going to be our official sponsor going forward. They've already sponsored us with enough precious metals. I think they deserve it.
I'm currently wearing my Errant.
You've got the Errant one on
Errant.
there. Yeah, show that up there. Yeah, looking good, Andy PG. Big shout out to everyone tuned in. We like to support our Ramish artists. And of course, we're joined by Becky S, diligently sat in the background this evening. I believe she's going to just be drawing away. Might chip in with the chat every now and then. How you doing, Becky? Yeah, the microphone is there for a reason.
I just had a bit of my cigarette. Hi, everyone.
Okay.
She'll definitely be chiming in when we get to some Trump chat.
Right,
100%.
I'll rein you in if you start getting a bit loopy.
So, what are we going to be talking about tonight? As everyone can see, it is the Olympics or RAlympics special. So here's the format for tonight. It's not going to be all Olympics, I'll just let you know. For the first hour or so, probably a little bit less than an hour, other business, and the other business, the other Clanwell breakdown, is essentially going to be taken up by the Trump shooting.
And there's a lot. There is a lot to get through.
There's quite a lot
Me
to
and
get
Lance
through.
we were in the studio Wednesday night. There is a lot to get through tonight. We have got a lot of big schwab.
I'll tell you what, here's a very, very exciting development that I need to let everybody know about. Remember, Becky S designed the logo for Peasant Juice, which is a lager that is available in 3 bars in Manchester. Oh, Justin, I forgot the name of the bars. It's the Tap and something. I'll put it up in the comments later. We have got these limited edition Rise Above Live peasant juice beer mats, right? So anyone that buys an item of clothing off of the website this evening, any of the merchandise, here's the QR code, this is how you support Rise Above, you'll get a supplier pack with a number of these wicked coaster beer mats in and some stickers. That's for everyone that buys anything off the website tonight. Remember, Rise Above Live is always going to be free on a Friday night. We're never going to charge you for this or put it behind a paywall, but our production costs are quite high. That's why we have such a sick studio and we look and sound so good here on a Friday night. It's because we spend money on this shit. So if you want to support us, the best way to do it, I've just realised I've just made a mistake on the Rise Above there. It's got a 2 instead of a 3. Rise Above Bite Size. And that is actually the wrong QR code. That was a double mess up there. Here we go. That's the merch shop.
You all right, mate?
Sorry, I'm just a bit overexcited. So yeah, the other way to support us is Patreon. It's only £3 a month. And here's what you get for your £3 a month. Exclusive behind the scenes videos, of which you're actually going to see one of them tonight. We're going to show you some research tonight that we did on the Olympics about 4 weeks ago that everyone on Peasantron has already been enjoying. And so you get exclusive videos, 10% discount on merch, discount your tickets for events. And apart from that, you get an extra chat room where you can chat to your Ramish friends. Stay in contact with us, guys. So yeah, we've got the QR code on the screen there. Patreon is the best way to support us if you don't want to buy a piece of merchandise. Okay, so we need to Peasantron, yeah, that's right, Andy PG. We need to have a little chat about last week's show. Sorry, not last week, the last show, which was 2 weeks ago.
We can call it last week. Yeah, everyone knows.
We shouldn't be too strict about that. Let me just get rid of that QR code. An amazing chat with Matt Landman about the lines in the sky, the geoengineering, the stratospheric aerosol injection. I think we covered a lot of ground. We had some really good feedback off the show. And I felt like it was a really important... Thank you very much, Ian Collins. Andy PG is highlighting the hottest comments in the comment section there. And remember, we are going to try and get a bit more interactive tonight, as we always do. So, if you want to send us any questions, I'll put the email address on the screen in just a moment. So, Matt Landman smashed it with Lines in the Sky. I'm just going to, and this often happens when we do a subject on the show. In the weeks afterwards, more stuff comes out. Now, I came across a video just the other day, and I thought, with regards to this subject of the lines in the sky and the aerosol poisoning that's going on, check this out.
Acid in the stratosphere 20 kilometers over our head and use that to stop the planet warming up in a ugly tech fix.
You can spray something into the atmosphere to change.
Spray pollution into the atmosphere to stop it warming.
How do you do this?
You start with a fleet of modified business jets and say 20,000 tons of sulfuric acid into the stratosphere every year, and each year you have to put a little more, and this doesn't in the long run mean that you can forget about cutting emissions. We will need to rein in emissions.
We'll get to it eventually. In the meantime, we're shrouding the earth in sulfuric acid.
So people are terrified about talking about this because they're scared that it will prevent us cutting emissions.
Right, and also that it's sulfuric acid.
We put 50 million tons of sulfuric acid in the air now as pollution, and it kills 1 million people a year worldwide.
Okay, but it'll be better if we put more in.
We're talking about 1% of that.
1% more, we're just killing 10,000 more people.
You can do math.
What happens to the sulfuric acid after it's sprayed? Does it just stay up there?
No, it rains down, but it's a tiny addition to what we're already doing.
Is there any possible way this could come back to bite us in the end?
It actually turns out to be an old idea. This was known since President Johnson.
You ever look at those planes up there? They have contrails behind them. Maybe all those planes with the contrails, maybe they're actually spraying chemicals into the atmosphere right now, and Uncle Sam isn't telling us.
Seems extremely unlikely.
That the United States is not telling something to its citizens? That seems extremely likely to me. Read the newspaper.
Literally straight from the tiny hat's mouth.
Straight out.
That guy looked like a caricature of the Black Cube organisation. Whether that is completely serious or not, what he's saying in there...
I think it is serious, and they've tried to make it a kind of jest thing because it's one of these late night. Is it like a late night talk show? It looks like it. Yeah. So there was always jokes and stuff.
Sort of like a Rise Above for peasants.
It's a soft It's
late night talk show.
Yeah, it's a soft disclosure kind of thing.
But it's also a whole lot of gaslighting, like chucking it in your
for
face.
sure.
Like,
Yeah,
fuck you, peasants. Listen to this. Okay, so we also need to let you guys know that Liber Polko is how far away is this
We're
event
6
now?
weeks now.
6 weeks, holy shit.
It's gone quick, man.
6 weeks, we're flying out to Serbia.
Magix, we need to get you round in the studio, mate. If you're listening
we're
out
going to
there.
fly out to Serbia. The link is in the description if you want to join us for one of the leading anarcho capitalist freedom festival. It's not a festival, it's a conference, really. I think we are the only performers there. Myself, Magix, and Andy PG are going to do a special birthday set for the president of Liberland, which is a Michael Crypto Nation.
Michael Crypto Nation.
Just on the border of Serbia and Croatia that they created in 2014. We are super excited to be a part of this. Max Egan's there, Jeff Berwick, the Dollar Vigilante. This is his event, by the way. He's going to be there as well. So we are absolutely chuffed to bits to be going out to Serbia.
Well, that was a bit partridge.
It was very, totally partridge. I really partridged that one up. So yeah, it's main stage. It's September the 5th to the 7th. Yes.
Yes, Michael.
Yes, Liberland. We will be there. Okay, I've already mentioned the Patreon. That's a great way to support us. Is there any other QR codes we need to whack up?
Well, you could buy us a coffee.
Oh yeah, don't forget, if you don't want to subscribe to £3 a month, you don't want to buy a t-shirt, another fantastic way to support us is to scan this QR code.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to buy a t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. We've got the sickest t-shirts. And remember, anyone that buys t-shirts tonight gets a sticker pack with some of these Rise Above Live and Peasant Juice beer mats. Right, let's get down to business. Let's have a couple of memes to warm us up into the clownery. This
Just
is
to grease it.
Yeah, let's just grease this Schwab show into action. Big shout out to everyone tuned in. It's The Sopranos.
Wait, let me get the fucking queef ready.
Yeah, get the queef ready. Oh, big shout out to Dom. Had a wicked chat with Dom earlier on from Sheep Farm on the phone. We do chat on the phone in real life, not just on the internet, you know.
I wore, Dom, if you're listening, mate, I wore one of your t-shirts at Beat Herder Festival up north at the weekend, mate. Say thanks for that.
Did you really? You wore Sheep Farm?
I wore Rise Above as well, obviously, but one day I did wear a Sheep Farm shirt.
If you're not wearing Rise Above, you better be wearing Sheep Farm.
Yeah.
Yes. What are you saying? Are you still watching?
It looked lovely under the chemtrails.
I can't really listen because it's dead air. Tell Andy PG. Yeah, the Empress is in the other room still watching the Olympics opening ceremony. There's a white horseman.
A white horseman currently riding along the screen for the opening ceremony Olympics. Shout out to Jason Archaics.
Oh god, yeah,
for yesterday.
We're going to be talking about Archaics when we get to the Olympics.
We've got
section.
a probably part 2 actually to his presentation.
Yeah,
we've got a follow on from Archaics.
We've got a follow on, and when we did the Peasantron video about 4 weeks ago, we watched a different Olympic ceremony, right?
Yeah.
And we saw
we watched multiple Olympic ceremonies,
but we zoomed in on one particularly,
yes,
which we are going to show you in the final section of tonight.
There was one that stood out by a mile.
yeah, it definitely stood out. Okay, so let's just do it like this. Yeah, so polar ice caps make Earth heavier to rotate, Clown World says. It's causing longer days. Work that one out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a real headline, by the way. And on the right here, this is from Auntie Covey at
Maybe it needs to the engine needs greasing or
needs
something
tweaking.
Like that. Maybe the Earth needs a service.
Have you seen Health Chancellor Gates' reading list here?
Oh, what have we got? And he loves doing this shit, Big Mike.
Women with Cocks by Big Mike.
Right, here we go. I'm up to speed.
They're all lizards.
Cheese
David
pizza.
Icke. How not to know a nonce, a Bill Gates special himself. Infectious psyops from Anthony Fauci. Sterling work from Auntie Covey there. Is Auntie Covey?
She's in the chat.
Is she in the chat? Of course
she's always in the chat.
Of course she is. No, this one on the left.
Bang, bang! Come out of your holes, you cowardly wabbit!
I wanted the hee button.
You're on the wrong.
God damn it,
You're on
Andy
the wrong.
PG.
Look, you can't just start hitting the queef. I had stuff lined up.
Right, give me the Michael Jackson buttons.
There you go.
Okay. That's fucking better. So we didn't make.
Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't normally let Lance press the buttons.
Totally unrelated. Totally no reference to anything. Just a meme. Charlie Sheen.
Michael.
That's better. And this one on the right is not a meme. I think this is actually from Bill Gates's Twitter page. One of my favourite. I think Auntie Covey sent me this as well. One of my favourite photographs ever. 3 of my heroes: President Nelson Mandela, Jimmy Carter, and my dad. That's Bill Gates the first. are cradling 3 babies born with HIV during a time when stigma made most people afraid to touch them.
This is a holographic construct.
AIDS was one of the first issues our foundation worked on, and Nelson Mandela was both an advisor and an inspiration. On this Mandela Day and every day, his legacy is a reminder that collective action and kindness can usher in a better future. On this Mandela Day. This is just too weird, isn't it?
There's a lot going on, Michael. It's a lot to wrap your head around. It's a full-time job at the moment, actually, to dissect Clown World.
Yeah, Clown World is definitely hotting up again.
It's a full-time job.
People in the comments section, give me some flames or some hashtags or something.
We've got 202 peasants.
That's not bad. If you're feeling Clown World charging up again, building up to some spectacular Schwabian crescendo,
give us some flames.
Yeah, give us some flames or explosions in the...
Give us some of that.
We'll turn those down. We'll turn those
down.
Yeah,
I had Jason Archaic's on.
All right.
We have to turn
I'm not going to talk about Jay Slater. I'm not going to show any other Jay Slater memes. But when Auntie Koviet, this is when the guy's body was found. Auntie Koviet brought this one out. NPC peasants and Jay Slater.
For any one of our international peasants viewing, which don't know who Jay Slater is, it's a local psyop to the UK.
Yeah, it's some kid that disappeared in a Spanish island, but his disappearance perfectly coincided with the Euro finals.
Yeah,
where England was playing. No, it was in Spain, wasn't it?
No, Germany.
No, it's in Germany, but we were playing Spain. That's it. We were playing Spain in the semi-finals.
Oh, that's right. Correct.
We lost to Spain.
Yeah, because there was memes saying winner gets to keep Ibiza and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
and Jay Slater, winner gets to keep Jay Slater.
The day after we lost the semi-finals, they found the guy's body. It was just all a bit weird. All a bit weird.
It's always weird.
And this was a fantastic one from AC. I hadn't even heard of this show, but the post.
I haven't watched the show. I've seen this advertised. Apparently, it's really good. I really like Anthony Hopkins.
Well, if it's got Anthony Hopkins in, it's probably going to be pretty good.
And you've got Michael here, right under Anthony.
It's on Prime NPCs. So those about to die, and I was like, right, Auntie Koviet, because we had about a week when me and AC were basically back and forth with Clown World every day. We were collaborating on a lot.
Yeah, I told you it was unhealthy.
Yeah, it was unhealthy. For starters, let's swap that dagger in the O for a syringe. Let's get Health Chancellor Gates in there, and the rest she just ran with. So I definitely prefer the Rise Above remix on the right. Then she sent me this. Totally no reference to anything, totally random. But NPC bodybuilder Danny Broadhurst has passed away at
32.
At 32. And AC pointed out this guy would need a very broad hearse. It's fucking massive. This just seemed like a proper Clown World headline. And look at the name of the guy, Greg Potato. Patuto. I don't know. It just made me giggle. Right, here's one. Before we get down to Trump, because we've got to talk about the Trump shooting, obviously. I saw this snippet this week.
Well, it's a segue into Little Hats, isn't it?
It is a segue.
With Jude and Peter Stein.
Yeah, so it was Enki Musk speaking to Jude and Peter Stein.
Stein.
I didn't pronounce it properly. Sorry. Let's get the different screenery so that people can see us. That's better. And if we put the chat back on the screen, I'm still getting to grips with this new layout.
They've done some good upgrades. Restream's done some good upgrades.
So I said this is a groundbreaking conversation. Who knew that Elon Musk's son was put on puberty blockers without him properly knowing what that meant? And now he describes his son as dead.
That's awesome.
Now he's vowed to put an end to the woke mind virus. And I had to put like NB, I am not in support of either of these individuals before anyone starts writing essays about shut up, Lance, why are you talking about Enki Musk and Jude and Peter Stein? They're controlled op. Now, in this 5-minute snippet, basically, he's just saying, yeah, it happened to my son. This is why I'm going to put an end to it. And Jude and Peter Stein is just getting this huge mind boner about what Enki Musk is saying.
That's awesome.
Basically cutting him off. But I just thought, yeah, okay, these two are part of the pantomime. But I thought it was maybe a little bit of a landmark moment where we've got someone who's an A-lister, part of the club. But instead of being all full steam ahead, yeah, all of my kids are they, them.
You said, Lance, I'll bring it right back to the intro to episode 0 of Rise Above, where you said there's war in factions. amongst
breaking down our human reactions.
Yeah, they are
weapons of mass distraction. Yeah.
Let's not turn this into a lyric, but there are warring factions, and Jason Archaics talks about this, doesn't he? He says that's how after each reset, this is how certain old books keep resurfacing, because they're kept by people, a certain group who are opposing a certain other group who would really, really rather burn all the books with all the ancient knowledge. So maybe Enki Musk is really Enki.
But what you got to remember, right? When I call him Enki Musk, and it's funny because you're
literally
wearing the Enki t-shirt.
Shout out to Elon.
The Enki archetype, and if I really hope Jason's watching this, we've got to remember, Enki was still an Anunnaki overlord.
He was the Anunnaki king.
He may have been a benefactor, as Jason says. This archetype, I'm not saying
he was a controller,
but he was still a controller.
Yeah, he was a controller, which showed the peasantry empathy, basically, didn't he? That's what he
gave them empathy.
Yeah,
gave them the gifts of not being such abject peasants. AC says Enki Musk has 10 kids. Yeah, to be fair,
he's actually got 12. He's got 12.
Some of them are named after circuit boards and shit, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And one of them's an equation, I think, or some. It's not even letters.
I hate to say it, but when you've got 10 or 12 kids, that instantly means that you can't give each of your kids as much time as you should. That's just fucking maths, right?
Yeah.
It's impossible to give an adequate amount of time to that many kids.
Especially when you're launching big dicks into the stratosphere.
Well, I was just going to say, he's also a megalomaniac fucking trillionaire, super billionaire. So those people, by definition, don't spend any time with their family anyway.
No.
So I'm just saying that it's not out of the remit that if what he's saying is true, that this could have sort of happened accidentally under his nose, and by the time it happened, it was too late.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, I bet he doesn't spend very much time with his kids or know what's going on in their lives.
But you think about it, mate. Look how quickly someone can be wrapped up in one of these fucking TikTok apps with the mind control that's on there and other social engineering platforms.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's one thing. You remember I talked about Levi, the person that's been watching the show since day dot.
Yeah. Shout out to Levi. He's one of our
right? And they've
veteran viewers.
Yeah, veteran viewers, right? Like first generation Ramish. They've come back onto Facebook and been commenting on my posts again.
I saw.
And they were actually saying about there's 3 different types of people in this rainbow community that go under the trans
alphabet
label.
mafia,
and they were saying one of them groups is more predatory than others, and I'm not, because I don't want to go into it too much, because I'd actually really like them to call in the show when we do customer services in 2 weeks, and Levi, if you're watching, we'd really like to hear your perspective. But one thing they did say was that there are certain apps which are particularly bad for rainbow grooming.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that it's not necessarily Grindr, it's apps that are much more mainstream. So this was, 79 comments. This is a good talking point, I think, this week, and it's definitely showing a turning tide towards that particular aspect of the rainbow agenda when it comes to changing
Enki
kids'
Enki Musk is probably pissed off that the social engineers managed to pull one over on him and got one of his.
Yeah, I bet he is.
One of his offspring.
I bet
He's probably particularly pissed about that. I would be if I was Enki Musk.
Guaranteed. Right. Should we tackle the subject at hand, which is the biggest story of the last 2 weeks?
Politics.
Politics. Now, did you want to have some sort of like preface before we start talking
guys,
about this?
I've seen some
Andy
very negative comments on Facebook, some very divisive comments amongst the Ramish community, which I was very disappointed about. I did actually make a Facebook post about this a couple of days after the event in question. So we're not trying to cause more division here. Please just enjoy the content. Take it as entertainment and don't start arguing with people who think differently.
We're going to be having a laugh. We're going to be showing some evidence, a whole shitload of memes.
Whether you think it was a psyop from whoever or whatever,
we don't know.
We don't know. Nobody really knows.
Here's the thing.
Right?
Let me say this right now. At Rise Above, we never ever claim to have all the answers. The only thing we claim to have is the best motherfucking questions.
Nobody truly knows what's going on here apart from the people involved. So that's it. If you think differently to someone else in the chat, just be respectful to them. Just don't be a dick.
We're just going to put it all on the table, right? So
slap that rabbit on the table.
get that rabbit on the table. Cut it into 33 pieces. Now I'm actually going to get the chat off the screen so we can properly see what's popping here. Andy PG, you can keep an eye on the chat.
Yeah, we got 230. Oh, it's just changed to 234. We did have
233. Remember, we are so censored. We are only now broadcasting on this YouTube channel.
Highly censored, guys.
Totally banned off Facebook. I've had 3,300 post removes in the last week. So please share this to your Twitter, share it to your Facebook, your Telegram groups. Let's get some more people tuned in because we're going to break this shit down before we even start talking about the Olympics.
Michael.
This is a holographic construct.
So, for once, The Simpsons got it wrong. There's a picture here of 45 DJT lying in a coffin with Secret Service in front, but that didn't happen.
No, it didn't, Michael.
That didn't happen. Shall we start with some first principles of what actually allegedly went down?
Yep.
Let's go.
It's the 13th of July in Butler, Pennsylvania. Former U.S. President Donald Trump speaks at a rally. It's only days until he plans to accept the official Republican nomination. He's just minutes into his speech when shots are fired.
Take a look at what happened.
I'm just going to pause it there because obviously we are analysing this. We're not just playing someone else's content to get a strike.
Yep.
What did you just point at,
I
Andy
just
PG?
pointed at is Vincent Fusco.
That's in the top left. The guy with the bushy hair with the hat on.
The Jewish looking guy.
This guy, Q-tard people, think that is Kennedy, don't they? Dressed up.
Yes, they do. Yeah, they think it's Kennedy. Yeah,
This guy is at every single Trump thing.
they think it's Kennedy's son who was allegedly killed in a helicopter accident.
Yeah, we're just pointing things out as we go here.
Trump got hit, but survived.
So epic. Let me just go back a couple of things. So yeah, we're seeing the bullet allegedly skimming his right ear here.
Got hit, but
now when he puts his fist up, you can see on the left hand side Vincent Juska.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
watch as he jumps up and he fist bumps the air afterwards. Yes, Trump survived.
someone tried to assassinate him in broad daylight. Here is how it unfolded.
They've clearly slimmed Trump down a tiny bit.
By the time this video is published, new details might have emerged. It's a hot, sweltering early evening as tens of thousands gather here to see Trump. Pennsylvania is one of 6 vital swing states that will help secure the win in the next presidential election. Butler skews heavily Republican, and it is a blue-collar town.
This is a big crowd. This is a big.
What does that sign say behind Donald Trump's
You're
the left?
fired.
The whole crowd had them.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was on The Apprentice. It's a TV show where you fire people. It's like a businessman thing.
Let's be real. It says Joe Biden, you're fired.
Yeah, and that's what he used to say. You're fired.
But
It's the same.
when I first watched this clip that's about to happen now, the first thing that jumped out at me was someone's fired a gun at Donald Trump, and most people, or 1 in 3 people behind him, are holding up a sign saying "You're fired," and it's fired in red letters.
Yeah.
That was what jumped out at me.
Big, beautiful crowd.
He is surrounded by supporters. Most are sitting or standing in front of the stage. Some sit on the bleachers, center, left, and right. Trump's support staff and security, including Secret Service agents, are right at the stage.
Some of the best Secret Service in the world, literally the best you could
So
ever see.
there's again, we're not misogynistic. We're just reporting the facts here, guys. There's 3 women and 3 men there around Trump, the Secret Service.
And we're going to be going into all of this.
Bearing in
detail.
mind, Trump's a fairly big man.
It doesn't. I'm just going to rewind it a touch there because if you zoom out, to me, it almost looked like
He is surrounded by supporters. Most are sitting or
look how like out in the open he is.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to be to a degree. I mean, you're doing a fucking speech. It's the same as if you're performing music to a stage. You have to be seen to some degree.
All I'm saying is normal. Well, I don't know. Yeah, if you want people behind you as well, I suppose, which he always does. But like from a security point of view, if you're stood on the stage, if there's a wall behind you with a backstage, then there's somewhere to get out of the way. If you do have shots on you,
Yeah,
it's
I don't know.
The thing is, he's done this hundreds of times with the same setup every single time.
It's always that setup. That's what I was going to ask.
So the only thing that was different with this is that rooftop wasn't covered.
Yeah. Well, this I'm not saying that anything was different. I'm just looking at this completely objectively. It's like yeah, that is an exposed position. But like you say, that's what it's always like at all of his rallies.
Standing in front of the stage. Some sit on the bleachers, center, left, and right. Trump's support staff and security, including Secret Service agents, are right at the stage. Behind him are 3 large buildings. On the roof of the building on the far left and on the far right are Secret Service snipers. They are constantly scanning the surroundings, looking for threats. They can be seen in this video filmed by a crowd member.
Hello, Butler, and hello to Pennsylvania. I'm thrilled to be back.
Trump begins with his speech. Things seem normal. He turns to the right and points at a chart showing statistics on border crossings. At the same time, several people in the crowd notice a man with a gun on the roof of a building close by.
He's got a gun!
It's too late.
Take a look what happened.
All of a sudden, bullets start flying. One even gets captured.
No, we're going to be having human vibrations comment on this in a minute. I've got a screenshot. That's not allegedly the bullet. It's the air.
I thought that was the air behind the bullet. It's
like the slipstream of the bullet.
Yeah, I was under the impression that I'm not a physicist. I don't know how the physics of a bullet firing going through an atmosphere works. But I was under the impression that the bullet is actually off screen and that's what's left behind
Potentially, but I just think it's just so crazy to have that captured on a photo.
You've got hundreds of people taking pictures like every millisecond. It's
Or it could be
that
photoshopped.
unlikely.
That's the other thing. Or it could be Photoshop.
Well, no, I've seen it on the video. I've seen it slowed down.
Yeah, you can, right.
So,
or video shopped.
all I'm saying, Becky is absolutely right. This is a highly photographed moment, but I can't recall any time before where a bullet stream has been captured.
Oh no, I think it has, but not with someone like a president speaking. I've seen pictures of bullet streams. We'll come back to that. I'll Jamie that whilst we're...
Another building, about 400 feet or 120 meters north of the stage. The shots are coming from here, on the roof. The gunman is 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. He is armed...
What's his name?
Thomas Matthew Crooks.
His surname Crooks.
Yeah, he's a crook.
He's a crook. The shooter's a crook.
With an AR-15 semi-automatic rifle.
Oh my God! It had to be that gun. It just
the
had
AR-15.
It had to be the AR-15.
The liberals' favourite weapon.
Yeah. But President Biden's favourite weapon.
First, he apparently fires a round of 3 shots.
Take a look what happened.
Trump reaches up with his hand.
Now I've seen this bit slowed down, and I mean straight away I'm going to say that if you were going to pretend you'd been shot, if it's fake, which I'm not saying it is, if it is fake, and you were going to pretend you'd been shot, you'd do an action as if the bullet had skimmed you, and then you would put your hand to the place where the bullet is allegedly skimming you with a blood pack here, or something like that, or along those lines, and then put it on you. So let's just bear that in mind.
First bullet pierces the upper part of his right ear. He will later say that turning over to the right at that exact moment prevented the bullet from hitting him right in the head. He ducks down behind the podium, and within 3 to 4 seconds after the first shot, Secret Service agents swarm the former president and shield him with their bodies. Crooks opens fire again, immediately, with 5 more shots. Right before the first shot by Crooks, one of the snipers on the left roof behind Trump seems to detect the gunman and prepares to return fire.
Take a look what happened.
Some outlets report that these snipers killed Crooks, while the Secret Service confirmed its personnel neutralized the shooter. We could not corroborate that it was in fact these specific agents. The gunman also hit spectators on the bleachers. 1 man died, 50-year-old Corey Comprador. 2 others were critically injured. With Trump's microphone still on, we can hear the tense exchanges among the agents.
Moving his hair. Hold. When you're ready. On you. Ready. Move. Up. Move. Go.
About 42 seconds after Crooks opened.
And there's a strange bit here where he talks, where are my shoes? Where are my shoes? Because I guess in the commotion his shoes came off. I've seen a whole article, which I couldn't manage to find after I've read it, about the removal of the shoes and asking for the shoes to be some sort of Masonic rite of passage.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, I read a whole thing about it. I tried to find it for the show, couldn't find it. I was gutted.
Fire. They confirm the shooter is down.
Are we good? Shooter's down. Are we good to move? We're clear. Let's move. We're clear.
They prepare to escort him to an armored vehicle.
Come on. Let me get my shoes. I got you, sir. Let me get my...
We've got almost 300 people tuned in. If anyone else can share it to your socials, you haven't already done it. Let's get more people tuned in.
Right, guys, just before we go any further, so I've just jamied this bullet slipstream thing. So it's not actually that hard. It's not actually that easy because there's a food vending thing called a bullet street. It keeps coming up showing me pictures of a food vending thing. Anyway,
right.
I have found some, and depending on which bullet it is, I think you get a different trail come from behind it. But most of them, when it fires, the actual trail does start from behind the bullet.
But all of those photos that you're looking at over there,
These have
done
just
with
been
special,
fired.
they're done with special cameras, though.
Yes, yeah.
What I'm saying is, I've never.
Well, they're a
seen,
lot more HD than what we're looking at.
Yeah, but that's
there.
like a fucking like a microscope camera that can do like
a microscope.
A Michael camera that can do like 6,000 frames per second and
okay.
capture it.
But it is a thing. You can see a trail behind a bullet. Basically, that's what we see. This one, look, see the bullets over there.
Yeah,
and then there's a gap. Then the thing is showing. That's what I was under the impression that picture had.
You could, you can share your screen from there, don't you?
Oh, how do I do that, Michael?
You go on to Restream. We should have been doing this all along. You go down to share screen. That one.
Where?
That left.
Ah.
Left. Entire screen. There. And then you
Click that.
Yeah, click that.
I can't.
Why is it not?
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Click share. No, I should.
Yeah, there you go.
Let me.
Does that come up?
Let me make that happen. Yeah. Oh no! Now, that's it. Okay, so we're looking. So you can do. You know how to do it.
Yeah. So here, in the picture in the top right, you see the bullet is. There's nothing directly behind the bullet. It actually starts a little bit further back. Obviously, this has just been fired from a weapon, but it's actually quite difficult.
But what I'm trying to say is that all of these images that you're looking at here
are from a Michael camera,
are either CGI or they're from a high spec Michael camera. My argument is that I've never seen this bullet trail
captured in
accidentally
a regular
captured
picture
by a stray bullet that's flying past someone's head.
Okay,
that's my argument. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Maybe we need a specialist photographer to comment on this.
We need to get a resident expert.
a resident expert. Right, come on, let's keep going with it.
Oh shit!
Have you just Michaeled the video?
We did Michael the video.
Surely not.
What happened to it? Oh, right. Yeah, I have Michaeled that video.
Oh, come on, get it back.
All right, let me find it.
Is it that? It's not. No, it's not.
No, I'll just add it here. I'll add it here. 1 sec.
Sorry about this, guys. There's 288 peasants tuned in currently.
Local video. Here it is. Sorry, I haven't got to grips with this restream. Let
It's
me
the third
fast
killed
forward.
Crooks.
Where did we get to?
They prepare to escort him to an armored vehicle.
Come on. Let me get my shoes. I got you, sir. Let me get my shoes, sir. Hold that in your head. It's bloody. So we gotta move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Okay, my shoes down.
Watch out.
Wait.
In about 75 seconds after ducking to the ground, Trump raises his fist. He is mouthing the words, "Fight, fight, fight." The resulting photos immediately travel around the entire world.
Do you know what I said to you, PG? I said like this.
You said people are going to be. That's going to be on T-shirts for 100 years.
This will literally be as famous as the Che Guevara T-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely convinced of it.
Look at this Secret Service agent on the far left. He looks about 12.
Look at the perfect lines of blood on his face. They look like. I don't know. Okay, we'll come back to that.
Again, I'd have to speak to somebody who's a gunshot wound specialist.
The bullet didn't go through, is it? And we'll see. I've got another diagram to show you in a minute. It basically slivered past it.
The crowd starts to chant for the former president as he leaves the stage, bleeding.
You know, if you got hit by a water jet, like a water cannon, like the Germans used to disperse unwanted protesters,
that'll take your face off.
That fucking hurts, mate.
Yeah.
I can imagine if a bullet went past you but didn't touch you, that would still do some damage. If
Well-
that, like, to scratch you on a soft area like your ear
It was a 2 centimetre wound.
or your cheek. Yeah, no, I'm saying even if it didn't hit you, I'm saying that would still probably do some damage.
It may not have even actually touched him because people are saying the wake of the bullet can be so forceful.
That's what I'm getting at.
There was a Marine on something on Twitter that was saying something along the lines. Why is that camera looking shit? That saying something along the lines that if you shoot a 50 caliber, which this wasn't, it was about half the caliber of a 50 cal, right? But if you shoot a 50 caliber round at someone and it whistles past them close enough, it can actually take their arm off without touching them.
Yeah, because it's such a force just going past you.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is. I don't know.
Well, I would imagine. Well, okay, you're using that analogy as an arm and a double caliber to what he was shot with. So maybe it would cut an ear if a half caliber went past.
When that bullet's spinning, like the vortex of air around it, you can cut through. There are cutting machines that use air to cut through metal
water.
Yeah, so it's not out of the question. Anyway, let's get.
We're just getting all the facts out on the table, guys, and just discussing them as we see fit.
Trump is then rushed to a hospital.
Yeah.
Later that night, he is flown to New Jersey. He appears to be well.
Freezer, not the fridge.
There are a lot of questions we don't have an answer to right now. Why were the forces unable to prevent the attack? Analysis on X suggests that at least the snipers on the roof behind Trump were likely scouting for dangers further away, with this rooftop possibly falling into the responsibility of other law enforcement agents. We were unable to corroborate that. Why could an armed man climb up on this building? What was Crooks's motive? The gunman had no criminal history in Pennsylvania's public court records. The New York Times found a voter registration record for Crooks. It shows that he was registered as a Republican. They also found that he donated $15 to a liberal voter turnout group through a Democratic donation platform in 2021. He was a kitchen worker and had a membership at a local shooting club. The FBI found suspicious devices in both his car and home. They are being evaluated by the agency at the time of this recording. The investigation is ongoing, and new information is being published by the minute. President Biden and various leaders around the world condemn the attack and political violence at large. The picture of Trump, bloodied but defiant, with a raised fist in front of the American flag, will surely become a powerful symbol in his re-election campaign.
No shit. So, shouts to the person that made that. Jonas David. Yeah, we need to give shouts to that because I thought that was a very concise and very good summary.
Would you say that was accurate, Becky?
There's a lot more information that's come out after that.
Oh, sure. Don't worry. We're going to get stuck in. So, but before we do, there's a few memes. This one is quite superb. That's like the classic.
I saw this, right, on the night it happened. It happened in the night for us here in the UK. Because I woke up me and Becky woke up in the middle of the night. And I checked, I couldn't get back to sleep, and I just had a look on my social media, and I saw this meme, and I didn't know what the fuck it was about. And then later on, I found out that there was a Trump assassination.
Yeah, I had a kind of weird.
But I saw this meme before I knew anything about it.
Yeah, so I saw a meme before I knew anything about it, and I was like, wait a minute, has someone tried to shoot Donald Trump? And I thought, and my immediate thoughts, and obviously we're going to cover all angles here, my immediate thoughts were, that's just a bit too good to be true. You know, because we sort of obviously assume that everything's fake, that everything happening on the world stage is basically part of the Schwabian pantomime, which to one degree or another it definitely is. Whether or not an organic happening that isn't scripted, or is maybe partially scripted, by not the leading director. Maybe that, you know, there are rogue script writers within this melee. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
So
we'll never know for sure.
No, but that's
the idea. It's a contest.
No, yeah, of course, but you know, and it's healthy to have a certain amount of playing around with it. Speaking of this, Devon Stack at Black Pilled says, "Is everyone done LARPing as gay internet Columbos, cracking the case of the derp state, BlackRock Jews, MK Ultra, the vax-tard patsy controlled by Israeli nanobots foiled only by God himself, karate chopping a bullet out of the air? Is it out of your system yet?" I thought that was pretty good. Now, let's get a little bit more serious. So, and I will just make this so we can properly see it. Human Vibration says it's like the falling man, and she's talking about the classic 9/11 photo where you can capture the guy falling out of the Twin Towers. Truly, what are the odds of the same photograph would capture these two wildly significant historical photos? Like Richard Drew capturing both Bobby Kennedy's assassination and Falling Man, the odds are 100% because it's 100% scripted. Oh, right, so what she's saying here is that the guy that took the photograph of this moment here with George W. getting whispered about 9/11 in his ear also took the perfect Trump photo with the bullet stream that we've just been talking about. It's the same.
But
Doug Mills.
Becky,
this is a Pulitzer Prize? He's an award-winning photographer.
Oh yeah, he's a veteran
who was
photographer
there
of the
at
New York
every
Times.
single big political event.
So
ever.
why wouldn't he have been at that
so
event?
of course he's going to be at the front. I've watched the video of him diving in to get that photo of him. Like, these people are nuts. They will throw themselves in front of bombs just to get a good photograph. They're crazy people. So of course he's the one that's got it. It would have been him or one of the other ones that also jumped in to try and get that shot.
I wonder if there's
Fair comment.
I wonder if there's any more photographers which were there, which also were in the room with George W. Bush here at this point.
But we don't see their photo, and that's the point.
No, but maybe they didn't get a photo. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying, but
maybe they had a photo that to the untrained eye looks exactly the same, but the guy that got the best photo, was this dude, or in the other case, Doug Mills or Richard Drew. Which
to be fair, he might just be a better photographer.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true. That's true.
I don't think that's what like Jason.
Are you saying?
Call it a data point?
Are you saying Human Vibration is reaching with that one?
I'm not saying reaching. I'm saying I wouldn't count it as a data point as opposed to some of the other shit that's being brought up.
Donald Trump encourages and protects frightened US Secret Service members who cling to his massive balls as he leads them to safety after a failed assassination attempt. And to be honest, that's kind of what it looked like.
See this dude here. Look how young this dude looks. This is the same one.
I remember when
the
Secret Service dudes looked like literally Terminators.
Have you seen the movie with I can't remember. It's called In the Line of Fire with Clint. I think it's Clint Eastwood about an attempted presidential assassination. And yeah, they're not young boys,
no,
or young women that are generally like on the presidential.
No, not.
They're normally like your Daniel Craig, James Bond-esque types.
Right, let's put that there. So it took off my entire ear, the whole ear. But when I went to the doctor, he said, and this is true, this is my best Donald Trump impression, by the way, you heal faster than anyone I've ever seen. No one is healthier than you. And the next day, you get the idea. I was pissing myself when I read that. And this one here with Joe Rogan, because the point of these memes are that this is
that's funny, the Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Joe Rogan, like doing a post-fight interview with him. I think the point of these memes and what we're trying to convey here is this, as it was happening, as it happens, is just like the ultimate iconic moment. And like I was saying a minute ago, it's going to be on T-shirts for hundreds of years. It's, oh my God, this is Johnny. Have you seen this?
Yeah, I saw this.
Johnny Fogg made this like early morning on the day it happened. Absolutely banging. Absolutely banging. Oh yeah, while we're still looking at the physics of what allegedly happened, there's also this video.
Look what happened.
I'll do a little reload. It's basically they've 3D mapped Trump's face. This cider is properly slush puppy. It's quite good actually.
I did think when they were in the freezer.
Yeah, I forgot
these being in the freezer.
I forgot they're in the freezer. They've 3D mapped his face into this this one at the bottom here to show the trajectory of the bullet. And basically the point is that he chose, for one reason or another, to turn his head to the right at the opportune moment. And if he hadn't done it, then the outcome would have been different, according to the official narrative.
Look what happened.
Oh, they're saying that there's actually 2 bullets that skimmed him.
Well, I thought there was more than. I thought there was 8 shots.
8 shots were fired, but
and
according
I
to
thought
this,
it was 3 that actually were let off before he actually hit the deck. I thought it was 3 that went past him. Shout out to Sinstar Dread. He's sending me screenshots of the current Olympic ceremony.
Oh my God.
Mate, I can't look at him now. There's laser in, but it looks weird as fuck. I've got the White Horseman here, Lance. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some weird shit here for sure.
So the weirdness after the Trump shooting increased. People were wearing the tampon patches on their ears. They were writing like Trump 2024.
This is cultish. This is very cultish.
Very, very cultish. Great meme here. I know Trump tried to kill me with his Britney, but I still support him. Have you noticed that other memesters around the world are using sloth because of deep bait memes? Excellent work. Now, Auntie Koviet pointed this out. This woman here that's got the tampon or the sanitary pad on her ear, rather, she's wearing a special Make America Great Again hat, but it's like an extra one. So it's got 45, 47 on it, which is obviously Donald Trump's original president number, 45th president. And if he's successful this year, which he blatantly is going to be after this happened, he will be the 47th president. Numerically, what does that represent, Andy PG?
It's 9/11.
4 and 5 equals 9 and 4 and 7 equals 11. So that's a 9/11. Donald Trump 9/11. All right. Now we need to get onto the Olympics, so I'm going to fly.
I read a report: 33 million people in Britain are mentally ill. No, but
I'm
not.
going to fly through this now. Right. So yeah, Auntie Koviet remix here. They've got masks. They've got Koviet stickers over their eyes, and look at George Soros in the background here. Do you see that guy?
Excellent.
Mike Tyson looking at the piece of Trump's ear.
These were my additions to the Schwab show.
Thanks, Andy
I
PG.
thought these were quite funny.
Nice.
Mike's got his upcoming fight as well.
Is he still going to fight Jake Paul?
Yeah, I think he's fighting someone.
I thought it was cancelled.
He's fighting someone.
Oh, right, okay. So, and it just zoomed in. Definitely looks a bit like Soros. So Biden could drop out this weekend. This was
looks a bit Piers Morgan like as well.
Does look a little bit Piers Morgan like. Right, so yeah,
I saw this one like the next day. Somebody put this one out.
There were a lot of people talking about the WWF connections, or WWE as it's now called, about how the blood could have come from a blood pack, like I mentioned earlier. There's also this process in the WWE, and this is well known. I think it's called jigging or something like that. It's a few different names, where the high-level wrestlers will hide a razor blade somewhere on their person, in a headband, in a wristband or something like that. And at the opportune moment, when they hit the deck, when they want to have a blood-splattered face, they'll basically nick their skin, cut their skin so it bleeds, to create the effect of their skin being cut. So remember, Donald Trump was part of the WWF. Donald Trump appeared in the ring. He literally was seen choke slamming Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
So he's been not that he needs to get information from the WWF of how to make prosthetics and
okay,
and
if let's go down this route very quickly, right? If you're gonna do if you're Donald Trump with all the money in the world, I wouldn't be cutting myself with no razor blade, purely because I wouldn't be doing that because I could afford not to. B, you've got 3 geezers and 3 women jumped on top of you, and you've got to then strategically cut yourself with a razor blade on your head.
Not being funny, but
Maybe
he didn't need to do any of this.
No, I don't think that is a thing at all. If you were going to do it like that, you could hide a tube or conceal something under makeup or some shit like that to do it
Some
like
sort
that.
of prostheses.
I don't think he's cutting himself with no razor blade.
He was already winning, though. He didn't need to do any of this. It was like, if you look at it from the other perspective, they tried to put it in prison, they tried to do this, they've called him a convicted felon. It's like, what else could they have done to get rid of him? And this was the final option, and it just didn't work out for him.
So are you sticking your sword in the dirt and saying you think this is a genuine
I think it was allowed to happen. I don't think it had, because about a week after, that was when the Dems were sort of saying, oh, it was Iran. They were trying to blame it on Iran. Like, they fumbled their excuses. I don't think he was supposed to survive it.
Another point.
They tried absolutely everything.
So you're saying this might be like a last resort?
This was a last resort. They've created the crazies. They didn't need MK Ultra. They've got TikTok now. They've created the crazies. They just had to have enough holes, or even one person in the sort of protection side of things to not communicate. Well, that's all it would take, because apparently the Secret Service were under the impression that roof was being covered by local police snipers, and the local police were told that it was covered by Secret Service. So when there was somebody on the roof, the communications weren't there between police and Secret Service, the local police and Secret Service, so nobody knew who that was. So it was only after he started shooting that they knew that he wasn't either one of them. And that's the latest information that's come out. So that's my view.
There's a lot of people agreeing with Becky S in the chat here.
And wait for one of the crazies that they've created. There's enough of them in every town that they're going to visit. They just had to create that Pac-Man perimeter.
So you're basically going warring factions. The left hard side has allowed one of their.
He didn't need to risk that at all. Like, he didn't need to do this. He won enough support by just being a convicted felon.
Well, right, this clip I'm about to play, I think is pretty much agreeing with you.
Just before we go any further, just on the thing as well. So, Elon Musk supports Donald Trump. He's donating 45 million to his cause.
45 million.
So maybe they are on the same side, if you want to call it a side, of the warring faction to the other.
Well, Godvaj said that it was something like there was 3 orders of knights.
Yeah.
The Templar Knights, the Knights of Malta, Knights Hospitalier.
That's right.
And the Teutonic Knights.
And let me
finish.
Yeah, go on.
And Godvaj said that people like Trump, Elon Musk, and Putin are Teutonic Knights.
Yeah.
Now they're all part of the same thing, but they're against each other.
Yeah, but it's not unheard of for factions that are against each other to still work together and then sort their shit out afterwards. After they,
I need to add something. Anyone that's going to shoot us down in flames they think we're saying that this is all real, right? When I say
we're just discussing it.
When I say that there are different factions in the Knights of the Realm, it doesn't mean that all of the different factions of the Knights of the Realm don't work ultimately for one source above them.
Yeah.
And that's at the level when you can say all of this is allowed, all of this is part of the plan.
And if you don't understand that, you haven't done your 10K.
Exactly, because at the level up here that holds the Knights of the Realm and these warring factions that are doing stuff like this, at that level up there, it's all part of the plan. Because you're actually in control of the warring factions. Now, the warring factions at their level are creating warring factions down at our level, so it's as above, so below once again. Right, so what's the name of this guy, Joe Rogan's mate? We're about to play this clip. You said it earlier on.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
What's the name of that guy we're about to play his clip from? Joe?
Oh, Andy Frisella.
Here you go.
Bro, the Secret Service was inside the building that he was on top of, and the reason that the Secret Service director, that woman, said that there wasn't people on the roof is because it was the slope was too much and it was dangerous when they have snipers on roofs with more of a slope. That was the least slope building in the whole thing. They got video of this guy an hour before. They had him on the glass on those dudes' scope for 30 minutes before they shot him. There is no question at all. This guy was fucking groomed. He was allowed to be there. He was allowed to shoot. He was probably told that he was protected, and he went up there. He shot 8 motherfucking times before they shot back. Okay, you can't tell me there wasn't some sort of inside job there.
Guys, before we go any further, we will throw you out the chat if you don't keep it nice and respectful.
Why, are people kicking off at each other?
There's some dick comments in there. Yeah, just be nice, man.
Remember, even if we don't agree, we're all part of the Ramish community.
Yeah,
we're putting it all on the table. We've got different opinions, even in the studio.
And just don't be a dick.
Yeah, there's no need to be a dick. There's no need.
Otherwise,
to be a dick.
The moderators will throw you off. You will be off.
So there are obviously differing opinions, and as Andy PG said in his prelim to this has got right into people's...
Yeah, for fuck's sake, what did I say before?
Yeah.
We did it.
So what have we got here? We've got a letter from Donald's doctor. What's this guy called? Ronnie L. Jackson.
Gosh.
We need some Michael Jackson buttons. Saying about how, a 2 centimetre wide wound extended down the cartilaginous surface of the ear, which is basically what I said earlier on. It just went along in the ear. Initially significant bleeding followed by marked swelling of the entire upper ear. So it's basically no damage to him at all. It literally just skimmed his ear, according to this. Right, now we need to talk about the Secret Service. I'm just going to pop this one on.
After Secret Service Barbie, a highly trained member of the Secret Service, removes her weapon from its holster for the very first time in her career. she struggles to return her pea shooter as though it's her first day on the job. Fortuitously, her skills from a previous life as an amateur actress come into play, allowing her to convincingly mimic the swift draw of the weapon and scan the horizon for threats. Chewing her gum nonchalantly, she attempts to exude a tactical demeanor, reminiscent of a fusion between the Blues Brothers and Rosie O'Donnell. Despite her efforts, our agents attempt to return her wireless hole punch to its home, resulting
wireless
in
hole
another
punch.
failure. While she may have faltered at this most basic of tasks, she certainly looked cool while doing it.
I disagree. She didn't look cool. Now, I'm going to say it straight off the bat. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, there's only two explanations for what we just saw. That person is either a diversity hire, and they've literally just hired a woman that's not very good because there were no other women applying, and she got the job because she was a woman. I'm not saying there aren't good women Secret Service agents. There blatantly are, but that isn't one. I don't know if... listen, I'm not a gun freak, but I've handled real guns. I've had airsoft guns. I've had rifles. I've had holsters. When you've got a holster on your belt and you have a gun, you know where that holster is. You don't fumble around for 2 or 3 minutes trying to find the holster on your belt. You can feel that on your belt. So in my opinion, there's only two different explanations for what we just saw. That person is either a diversity hire or they're an actor.
Or both.
Or both, yeah.
Yeah.
A diversity hire shit actor that's not can't even successfully act like a Secret Service agent. Andy PG, I think he just actually hit the Michael on the head right there. Yeah, definitely. So we had some great.
God, there's some people in these comments. Look, everyone's so certain about what happened, who were probably never there.
None of us really know.
Just keep it friendly, guys.
Just enjoy. We're enjoying the mystery of the meat suit experience. Yeah. Nobody really knows what's going on.
Don't let it harvest you.
Don't
harvest
be
your
yeah, that's
energy.
the most important thing.
Fuck's
Do not be harvested by this.
Otherwise,
by this occurrence.
see episode 1 of Rise Above and continue from there on out.
Employ the power of your Ramesh meme harvester, your internal quantum harvester, and don't let the energy build up inside.
Just enjoy it.
Right, so yeah,
this is my favourite character. This Secret Service woman from this whole event.
Female Secret Service agent hiding behind the person she is hired to protect. But tell me more about the wage gap. And then someone has literally showed what the wage gap is. This guy is literally covering Donald Trump with every inch of his body. He will take a bullet for that guy. And this one is hiding behind here. Look at her wrist.
Yeah, but this is because the FBI director vowed that 30%. It was a shame it wasn't 33, but 30% of all of the Secret Service were going to be women by 2030.
This is what I mean. It's a numbers game. They've got.
I think this is called DIEI.
Well,
diversity.
Think about it as well.
I think this is DIE.
Think about it as well. If they're trying to swing votes in states that are not already blatantly just going to all vote for him, then he's got to appeal to the liberal types, isn't he? Which are all about equality and men can do anything, the women can do anything men can do. So that's why they had an even amount of female and male Secret Service agents around him, 3 of each, didn't they? Clearly.
Not for the FBI director. She was surrounded by men. By
I'm sure she was.
all I know is
back in JFK's time, I guarantee there wasn't one female Secret Service agent.
All I know is when I've observed Secret Service agents in the past, right? They are literally 6'5" hench guys who don't even look around. They've got sunglasses on, and when they draw for their weapon, they're like proper operators. It's like you've seen those guys that can do 0.3 seconds. Put it back. That is that.
They're professionals. They're professionals.
Trained. They have to be. These guys get paid. Listen, I've told everyone that I have like people in my family that were in special forces and that. I've known.
Yeah, what's your old man said about this? Because he was in the Marines.
I haven't spoke to him.
You haven't.
I haven't talked to him about this. But listen, I know people that get paid thousands of pounds a day as security advisors. Yeah. And they were nowhere near the level of a secret
protecting a president.
Of a president. So to have someone fumbling around like that is so incredibly unrealistic.
Who was it? Is it Dan Bongino? He was in the Secret Service. He said that there's a name for it when they all jump on the president. He said that was done correctly. I think. Did he say that was correct?
Yeah,
he said they did that quite well. Or something.
I've watched pretty much everything that Dan Bongino's put out about it because that was his job.
Because
so
if
I
you
was
look
like,
at the
if
dude,
anybody's going to know what they should have been doing, he will, and he'll be able to.
Because
see if
look
there was
at the
anything
dude,
wrong
like
with
he's
it.
proper folded over him. Like, there's no way.
Yeah. So the reason why I've watched him is because he knows how it should be done. So if they were doing anything that they shouldn't have been doing, it would have been glaringly obvious.
Again,
to
I'm
him.
not being misogynistic, but I would say here that the
Yeah.
men are doing what they should be doing, and the women isn't.
And we're not
doing.
saying this because she's a woman. I've seen proper women Secret Service agents earlier on. I've seen women bodyguards. I've worked with some really fucking hard women. I work in combat sports. I'm not saying women can't do it, but this particular female
is mate. No.
So anyway, I was talking about this term DEI. It stands for diversity. Equity and inclusion, right? Now, since this Trump incident, this whole thing of DEI hire has become very popular. So it's when you see someone that's really shit at their job that isn't a straight white male, then you say, oh, they've obviously got hired through DEI. Now, it's obviously exploded on the internet. And since it has, look what we're seeing here. What does this say to you, Andy PG?
I would say there's a trend, Lance.
But not only is this is obviously propaganda, because they're saying that DEI hire is the current N-word substitute. Now, let's be real. This is not just a word that you would use to say that a black person is shit at their job.
This is a much wider umbrella.
No, it's literally the widest umbrella. Yeah. Anyone that's not straight white male. Yeah. If people use this term, that's what they're talking about.
It's actually racist towards straight white males.
Yes, because
it's actually racist towards us.
So basically, what I'm also looking at here is this is clearly bots, because look at all these accounts
posting the same shit,
posting exactly the same thing at all the same time.
Do you remember the comments? There's a montage of them. This is a threat to our democracy, which all the media is saying.
Exactly.
This is exactly the same as that, just not people spurting it on TV.
So I'm not standing behind this term. I'm just pointing out that this is a very, very powerful example of social engineering. Right here, what we're looking at right here. DEI hire is the new N word. Call it out when you see it, even if it's about a white gay woman.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's still the new N word.
Yeah. That's it.
Wow. So now there is a universal N-word that applies to everyone that isn't a straight white male.
I've already hit it.
DEI hire. Holy shit.
I've already hit it, but I feel it's appropriate.
I read a report. 33 million people in Britain are mentally ill. No, but not.
Right. Okay. Here it is, diversity, equity and inclusion. I was looking through this. If you look at some of the other ones, they include justice, and it can actually be called, instead of DEI or DEAI or IE, it's actually JEDI, Jedi.
Jedi, nice.
Yeah, Jedi.
Okay.
Anyway, funny little snippet bit there. Snippet. Right. I think, therefore, I'm not an NPC. Big up Auntie Covia, and I want... Oh, we need to get the chat off so you can see that one. I want you to believe that Clown World is real. So this meme from Auntie Covia,
it's all real.
It is
inside the hologram,
inside the simulacrum. Right, interesting one from Thomas Sheridan here on the left-hand side.
Yes, this was one from me as well.
The rational reaction is that supernatural intervention saved Trump. This conclusion is the only one left when all is said and done. If you think it was staged with the risk of him allowing a bullet to pass within 2 millimeters of his skull, exploding in order to win an election, then you need to think further on the matter. Every single second of this event had to be happened in the precise microscopic order in which it took place in order for Trump to have survived this and for this moment to be captured. It's just a fact, and you don't have to like Trump to agree with this. Now,
it's a good point.
I certainly don't agree with a lot of what Thomas Sheridan says, and I'm pretty sure he has blocked me on Facebook.
Yes, he has.
He definitely has, because I called him out about supporting the moon landing. But I think this is an interesting comment, even if I don't necessarily agree with all of it. We need to get through this. Vincent Fusca, we've already pointed him out. That was quite funny. Biggest, baddest budget high security agency on the planet and a slightly sloped
We've
roof.
got some breaking news as we speak.
Go on.
It was so close. It was 36 minutes ago, nearly 33 minutes ago. So Becky just posted me, passed me her phone with Donald, her Facebook feed with Donald Trump on it. So he's posted this 36 minutes ago. I'll be going back to Butler, Pennsylvania for a big and beautiful rally honouring the soul of our beloved firefighting hero, Corey, and those brave patriots injured 2 weeks ago. What a day it will be. Fight, fight, fight. Stay tuned for details.
All right, okay. Thank you very much, DJT. Okay. So the shooter... Oh, God, there's more Trump stuff than I thought.
I told you it was a lot.
Yeah, the shooter. Some people
Right, okay, yeah, with disclaimer, this isn't the shooter, right? This is what's been going around the internet, but this has been...
The photo, you're talking about the photo on the left.
Yeah. This isn't actually the shooter, but it's going around the internet. It looks similar.
The one in the middle is the shooter on the day.
It's not the one on the left.
But the argument was that they were using a photo from when he was a little kid, and they're saying that he's transitioned.
Right.
Because obviously there has been a number of trans shooters recently, I think.
Oh, it's trendy
So
to be
people-
trans to shoot shit
Wow,
up.
there's so much trans violence. You need to pick up an AR-15 and start shooting up a school to stop the trans violence, don't you?
Which you're also against.
Yes. Right. But it is confirmed that Thomas Matthew Crooks, the 20-year-old shooter who tried to assassinate Donald Trump, was featured in a BlackRock commercial in 2023.
This is very interesting.
Yeah, very
This is the
interesting.
data point.
This is the data point.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Fiddler on the Roof, thank you very much to, I think, Auntie Koviet. And what would you have done if you saw this individual and you were responsible for security? People were literally taking photos of the guy on the roof. So this has been debunked, I guess.
Should we talk about the ladder? Have we got anything about the ladder?
There was 2 ladders.
Apparently there was ladders. Well, you know about the ladders. What's the deal about the ladders? Because he actually had to get up on the fucking roof.
He apparently had a receipt for a smaller ladder, and the one that they were showing on the news was actually it was the local cops or one of them was the ladder that they were showing, which was the really long ladder. Because people were saying, well, that wasn't his ladder because the receipt was for a smaller one. But there's another picture that's come out where you can see a smaller ladder on top of like a dumpster or something. So he's obviously climbed on that and then climbed up it. Same with the shooters the snipers on the roof. They weren't the ones that took him out.
But the thing earlier on said it was ambiguous about who had actually shot him.
Yeah, that's all been confirmed now. It was one of the other sniper teams.
On the ground or on the roof?
On one of the other roofs.
On another roof.
From I think it was 400 yards away.
Right.
Yeah, Dan Bongino said it, was it yesterday, I think he said? Because he mentioned about that picture going around. And obviously there's the footage of those snipers when you hear the shots and you see them not react straight away. And it wasn't them that actually shot the guy. It wasn't them.
Because I just mentioned the ladders because there is stuff going around on the internet saying that there were a set of ladders left for him to get up, or they were already placed there by the police or Secret Service or whoever. But I didn't actually know. Nothing was confirmed. I just heard loads of different stories about the ladders.
No, apparently 26 minutes before, one of the local cops saw him on the roof, and he turned around and pointed his gun at him, and he come down and was trying to tell somebody, and there was no communication set up between local police and the actual Secret Service, and that's the bit that one of the things that Dan Bongino is going absolutely apeshit
is
on.
that
and they got declined the offer of drones as well. They were offered drone surveillance, and they declined.
Which would have obviously seen it immediately. Yeah. That again, all these points make me think that it was set up. It was a real event which was set up by somebody and allowed to happen. Yeah, all of that. That sounds the most logical thing to me at this point.
This is graphic. This is a picture of his dead body, apparently.
Oh mate, we should have given a warning before.
Well, sorry, too late.
Right. I mean, it is after 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it's after the water rush, Ed. And this is someone hosing down the roof.
What a job!
Afterwards.
Yeah, where a lot of people were saying about the farm equipment or something. There was like a tractor or something next to it, and it like sprayed some stuff. One of the bullets hit one of the lines on the tractor, and it sprayed fluid all over the Secret Service cars.
Oh, nice.
Really? So that's why they were having that moment of, where do we go? Because they weren't sure whether the motorcade was safe because it had been sprayed with they didn't know what.
Well,
and he also had
oh, okay.
as
So,
well in the
so
cars.
at one point you've got gunshots going off from one side,
Yeah,
and then
and
the
you've
other
got
side
that.
you've got
So that's
that
why
going
a lot
off
of
the other
Sounds like
side.
the Phantom
Well-
planes on 9/11 that they were chasing instead of the right one.
And they found explosives in his car and a remote detonator. And when they've tested it, they found that it wouldn't have actually worked.
He'd been given a fake one. I would just
Or
like
he
to
bodged it himself.
Or he bodged it.
Oh, he bodged it. I'd like to look at this photo now. Apparently, the guy said in that video earlier on, the reason that they didn't have any snipers on this particular roof was it was too sloped, so it was unsafe for snipers to be there.
Well, this dude's up there and it's fucking wet,
and he's spraying water on there.
Yeah,
He's just-
that was the FBI director's excuse.
She's been sacked.
Has she actually?
No, she's been allowed to resign.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, resigned.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Because she
No,
was
'cause
told.
she'll still get her pension and stuff if she's resigned.
I
She
was
needs
told.
investigating.
I heard that she was told, "You'll keep your mouth shut if you want to keep your job."
Yeah.
And then that was literally right after it.
Now it's like probably keep your mouth shut and we'll allow you to resign.
Yeah.
So, without hauling you over.
So this dude here, he's washing off the remains of the shooter of Crook. So do you, like what shit, George? Do you reckon if you're late, if you turn up late, you have to do the shit, but you have to clear up?
Auntie Covey saying, "Lol, Andy, it's CGI. Shut up."
It could be CGI, Auntie Covey. The point is, nobody knows.
It's probably this is a great one. Are you not entertained? Trump as gladiator. Right, we've got to press on. We haven't even started talking about the Olympics, but this was interesting. Who knows the band Tenacious D with Jack Black? I'm not a fan, but anyway, they're who they are. And the other guy in Tenacious D said something on stage about live on stage. About, it's a shame that he missed, and it was about Trump. Now,
Yeah, it was his birthday or something, and he said like make a wish.
Yeah,
And
make
he
a wish.
said
That
he
was it.
Wish he hadn't missed or something.
Now, Jack Black, who I assumed was one of those Hollywood types that was naturally well against Trump.
Yeah, he is.
He is, but
Well, it's the insurance companies pulled out of insuring the venues that they were supposed to play.
right, because basically
Because
what's happened.
they've just upset half the country.
Well, yeah, well,
And they have guns.
Jack Black has cancelled the entire band.
It's not him that's done it.
Well, but this is the official line. Jack Black has said, because of creative differences, Tenacious D has put everything on hold. But what you're saying is the reason behind it is that everything's been cancelled because of security.
Well, basically, from a lot of people that I've heard about this, because I love Tenacious D. I've always loved Tenacious D. So I was like, oh my God, what the hell has happened now? And apparently it was the insurance companies for the venues that they were supposed to be playing on the rest of the tour, especially in America, said that is now an uninsurable event because they have basically pissed off half a country that has guns, and it's just too much of a risk for them. So that was why they pulled the rest of the tour.
Interesting.
Now, Jack Black also has a lot of stuff going on with Disney and all that sort of stuff. He can't be getting into politics or be sort of seen to support one side or the other. Especially if that side is Donald Trump.
I totally get what you're saying, Becky, but do you not think, in light of what's happened in the last 5 or 6 years, that that's a complete turnaround from the media establishment to say that it's no longer safe to openly call for the death of Donald Trump? Because if you remember, even before COVID, there were multiple celebrities, Hollywood people, saying Trump has to die. There was that Kathy Griffin woman that did literally a thing of holding up Donald Trump's head.
She did, didn't she?
Yeah, but now they're completely denying that they ever did that. They're completely gaslighting.
So what I'm saying is there's
no,
been
no,
a
we never said
U-turn.
that. We never did that. You're imagining it, and then we've been watching a bit of Piers Morgan, haven't we? God. And he will interview people from both sides. And I don't know if anybody saw him.
Some of these people
Destiny,
are fucking mentally ill, mate.
But Destiny, I have seen a lot of lefties losing it.
I've just realised we don't have to rush so much because the last 50 minutes of the show is recorded, so we can talk until 12. Yeah, sorry.
So I've seen a lot of interviews with the sort of lefties losing it kind of situation, and I have never seen anybody deny reality as much as Destiny.
And it's
did.
so funny because
And
they say that everyone else is denying
but Piers
reality.
Morgan, what he started doing is playing clips of these people saying these things.
That's really good.
When they're saying they're not.
When they're live on his show.
And they still
deny it.
deny it.
Still deny it.
It's crazy because the
It's
receipts are all
unbelievable.
there because we all saw it.
Yeah.
What you think that obviously everyone's got that recorded. It's like someone coming on this show and saying something and then trying to deny it. What you think? I haven't got everything recorded, backed up, double backed up.
Yeah, and they literally say that and say, "Oh, I never said that." It's like there's a video of you literally. No, that wasn't me.
So
it's all in your head.
In summary, this slide here, obviously we've been talking about the one on the left with Jack Black. The one on the right, this is from Forbes magazine. Now, the whole point of this slide is I'm talking about there's been a massive U-turn in official peasant opinion of what's acceptable to say about Donald Trump and about Donald Trump himself. Forbes magazine, top of the establishment, top of the elitist peasant pile, is saying, will surviving gunfire be Donald Trump's next appeal to black voters?
Well, that's racist.
Not only is that incredibly racist and patronising,
it's very stereotype.
It's also totally pandering, because there is the other way to read that. If you're from the hood and you think that and you don't like Donald Trump and you have gunfire every day, and you're an NPC in that situation,
yeah.
And now you've got this establishment going, well, yeah, fucking hell, Donald Trump is like
he's down
with the
as
hood.
well. He's down with the hood.
I showed a video that really triggered people in 2019 about these. I can't remember what show it was on, but these two black guys in America on the panel show, and they were just chatting, and they were saying how Donald Trump is the first black president. Just because they thought he was so real, and obviously it was properly triggering people. But anyway, I thought this was just so interesting from Forbes magazine.
That's funny. The first black president is Donald Trump. That's highly triggering.
What we were listening to earlier, where it was saying how people were hoping that being shot would make Donald Trump nicer, and one of the first speeches that he gave was saying, look, these people don't understand nice. Now is not the time to be nice. I'm not going to be nice.
He's not going to be nice.
No, things are about to ramp up.
He gets shot at and he's still like, no, I'm just going to keep doing me. Just like,
I definitely agree with you. Right. Okay, so I think actually Trump is almost over. This is a great shot here. Now, the one on the right, I don't think she made this, but again, this was shared by Human Vibration. Turning your head at just the right moment to avoid a bullet travelling at 2,000 miles per hour, 1 in a million. Taking a photograph at just the right moment to capture a bullet travelling 2,000 miles an hour, 1 in a million. Taking a photograph of the hero in front of the flag with his fist in the air during an active crime scene, 1 in a million. Taking 20-year-olds with no training and sneaking past one of the most advanced security forces in the world, 1 in a million. Finding a ladder to climb up a roof and crawl around without being stopped, 1 in a million. Getting a rifle, ammo, cartridges, rangefinder past metal detectors, 1 in a million. One of the most advanced security forces in the world failing to do their job, their one and only job, 1 in a million.
Not in the simulacrum.
Not in the simulacrum. Now, listen, we've already had different opinions in the studio and in the comment section about what's happened.
I'll comment quickly on
this. We
this.
don't have to agree with every single one on
I'll
that
comment
list
quickly on this.
to see the phenomenon that's happened.
Shout out to Jason RKX. In many of his videos, he mentions, I can't remember the actual battle he talks about. He says that there's two.
He says 3.
Is there 3? He's having 3. There's a war, right? There's about to be war, and they've done it multiple times. And the soldiers are lined up, and suddenly a big, massive fucking rock just falls from the sky, and they see it as a bad aim, so they don't fight. And Jason RKX says that the simulacrum that said no, that was not happening. Them fighting was not going to happen. So maybe something similar happens here. If this is a holographic construct, maybe whoever is in charge of the construct says no, you're not killing Donald Trump.
If this is a holographic
construct, did all that.
There's no point in arguing in the comment section about whether this is plausible, about the physics of the bullet.
No,
because
it's all irrelevant.
If this is some sort of psycho-spiritual 3D holographical projection of the ultimate Poitier mind, it doesn't. It doesn't. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter. But we can still marvel at the chances of all of these things happening to get the images and the archetypal, fucking iconoclasts that are coming out of this event. Like I say, T-shirts for 100 years. It's going to sway.
People have had it tattooed on them.
Yeah, it's going to sway world events for the next 20 years. Now, it also segues into the other subject that we will talk about just before we get onto the Olympics, because something else massive happened also in the last 2 weeks. which was the largest ever global IT outage that affected multiple systems all over the peasant sphere, from banking to internet to payment systems to automated systems to household appliances.
Me and Becky were at a festival when this happened. Like, we weren't
Great.
even aware of this. We didn't have any internet there anyway.
Did they have cash at the festival? That's good, because most festivals nowadays you get a little Schwab band that you have to charge up
cash.
with a debit card.
No, this is a non-NPC festival.
Yeah.
Shout out to Beat Herder if anyone went to Beat Herder. Yeah,
yes.
You guys rock.
It looks like a great festival. Now, this is a beat shoot video. Why does the blood on Trump's face look just like the CrowdStrike logo? Now, for anyone that doesn't know, CrowdStrike is the company that was responsible. I don't know whether they own the servers or there's some software. I don't know those details.
Apparently, it was one mistake in an update that they did, where the address that was put in, that leads to a certain page, it just had like a null value, and that just crumbled everything. They'd pushed an update
that
out,
easy?
Literally that easy.
Now, this happened a couple of days after the Trump shooting. Am I correct? A week after.
I was off my face at the
It was
festival.
definitely after the Trump. It was definitely after the Trump shooting.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah. It was post.
What are we saying?
post-TF.
What are we saying? Is this reaching? Because what I'm saying is, if people are talking about this being an actual botched, allowed to happen, derp state, Black Cube organisation, Teutonic Knight assassination attempt, right? How did they manage to get the CrowdStrike logo across his face?
Yes.
Yeah, this is leading to something extra going on.
Yeah.
Because I don't care. I've been observing the peasant sphere for too long to think that isn't something.
Yes.
The largest ever global IT outage, absolutely unprecedented. Never before in this realm have so many electrical devices and systems gone down at once as what happened. I didn't notice anything.
No?
I didn't, apart from hearing about it in the media. I did not know. I didn't witness any system being down. I've used my debit card that day. I went to the petrol station. Nothing. No problems.
All the cash things.
Yeah, it was
worked,
only
yeah.
Microsoft apparently.
Right. I think I even bought things on Amazon that day.
It was in a Microsoft update. So anybody on
I don't know.
Anyway,
This could be reaching. If they were gonna do this, like, and I would put the lines closer together on his face. If I was gonna do it for that reason, wouldn't you?
Well, you're suggesting.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying.
Let's rewind and micro-analyze this. You're suggesting that if this is actually the CrowdStrike logo, that
I would do it a bit better than that.
But how was it done? Is it done by him getting the blood packet and going?
Yeah,
like that?
I don't know.
He went like that, and as you do that, it would leave.
I don't know.
Or is it just done by AIX? Is it just an automated bloodlines that's done by the Holosphere?
I haven't actually seen a video. I've only seen the video from front-wise where he's that way, grabbing his ear that way. I haven't actually seen a filmed from behind him. So you're getting the shot of him looking the other way. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Sort of. Let me just.
I haven't
the bleachers
seen.
behind him.
Grab me one of those ones.
Because everybody's talking about nobody ducked or anything like that, but when you actually see the crowd and how far away they were from that,
I didn't realise there was an.
If you see somebody duck down in front of you, you presume that something's happening over there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
and
mean?
if you said there was a tractor explode
to the other side of the stage,
180 degrees.
So you've got like shots fired from one side, and then you've got this tractor thing going up in this burst of hydraulic fluid. You're going to be looking right to
I
left.
don't know. I've never been in a situation, thankfully, where I've had gunfire around me. But I don't know if you're I know you're supposed to duck. That's what you're supposed to do.
But I don't know if you're firecrackers and all sorts of stuff, haven't they?
But I don't know if your first instinct would be to duck or to just run.
Well, I'm going to say
in
this:
this
if you're
situation.
stood in the bleachers and you're directly behind Donald Trump, the president, or I think he's probably still the president. Let's be honest.
I mean, I'd get the fuck out the way.
Someone has fired 8 rounds from an AR-15, and the president in front of you is on his knees with some Secret Service agents around him
and some ketchup,
and one doing nothing. And you're just stood there looking like that, which many of them were. For me, that doesn't work.
For me it does, because how many times have you seen in the street somebody's getting beaten up or somebody passes out drunk?
People just freeze.
And people freeze. They get their phone out and their first response is to view it.
Again,
they're spectators all the time.
I don't know
anything like that.
what I would
rather than
do.
reacting.
You've obviously never been shot at, Becky.
No, but
No, thankfully, fuck.
But you see it
No, I haven't
all
really.
the time. Like you
Haven't
get
really.
some people who have that natural reaction to like run away or duck or whichever. But more and more and more people have just become so used to being spectators. Now it doesn't matter how dangerous or whatever. You see cars coming towards people on racetracks and they're just stood there with their phones.
Yeah, it's true.
They
I've seen so
they
many
don't
videos
think
this week.
It's the last second that they go, oh shit, that's real and could hurt me.
Again, I don't
So-
think from people who have analysed the crowd and are making a point saying, "Oh, they it's fake because they haven't done this." I think people react differently in different situations. I don't think you can tarnish the entire crowd with. There might have been a few people in the crowd who were in on it. I don't know if people
And
knew
there
this was
were
going to
people-
happen.
there were
Maybe,
people running.
maybe the photographer who we were talking about earlier, he's down with. George Bush, right? Maybe he knew it was going to happen. Maybe he was one of the ones that was in it. That's why
That's
he got
what
the
I'm
picture.
saying. Just, you know,
we'd never fucking know.
There are
any
so
of this.
many different angles and so many different levels of understanding to approach this from. There's, you know, it's like all of the things that we put on the table could be true, and it could still be a completely controlled event.
Yeah,
It just depends of what
I've
level
just
of
been
control
watching
you're
the
looking
fallout.
from.
I think the fallout of it is more interesting than the actual event as to
Yeah, I
why
do, yeah.
why,
I think-
why it was done and or who did it or whichever, and the way that the Dems are reacting to it and the Secret Service have reacted to it and the lies that they've already told and then had to backtrack on. They've not been doing like daily press releases or anything like that like they usually do.
Which
on an
you would
event like
expect.
this.
You would expect.
On
Yeah.
an event half the scale of this, they'd do a daily press release, even if they didn't have any new information.
Imagine
It's
Sausage
that
Fingers was shot
reaction.
at.
I don't think that they planned for this, and that's why they've dug up the Iran thing.
Someone throw a spanner in the works.
Yeah, because the aftermath of it has been very frantic and very like unplanned. I don't think that this was supposed
Maybe
to
like
happen.
Enki Musk is trying to throw a spanner in the works for the alphabet mafia.
Very, very interesting turn of events. So it's obviously important to point out that CrowdStrike, the company that we're talking about behind the cyber attack, well, we were talking about it before we went back to the shooting, is obviously a World Economic Forum partner.
Of course.
Of course.
Yes. And
shout out to Roots Brands.
Yeah, our former sponsor. By the way, I'd just like to point out for just a moment, let's just point out our current sponsor is Liberty Silver Designs. And let me just point that out.
We can attest to the fact that
With
they
the
are
right
not
top end.
affiliates of the WEF.
They are not members of the World Economic Forum.
They have never been to Davos.
Becky S pointed out this to me earlier on for someone on Twitter. They've got like a Schwab fridge, like a fourth industrial revolutional fridge, and it's obviously connected to the peasant net. And when this happens, it's got some Microsoft software in it, so it fucked up. They couldn't access their food.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
look.
the fridge
You
doesn't
think
open.
You think
It's
you're
not-
suave and you buy a Schwab
probably-
fridge, you
it
can't
probably
even
turns
open
the
it.
fridge off, like so all the food like defrost and everything.
Oh, is
Just
this
like if when you get trapped in your car when you're charging your Tesla, you can't get out. There was that woman who was overheating in her car. She couldn't get out because it was on charge.
This is obviously an earlier model, right? But you think later on in the future, like some Black Mirror shit, you have to like scan your microchip for it to open the fridge, and it'd be like if your cholesterol's too high, it'd just
tell
say
you what
no,
you can eat.
so you're not allowed.
Yeah, you won't be able to go to the fridge in the middle of the night just to get
No.
what you want. You've already had your your nutrient tokens already
Your peasant
expired.
rations.
Your peasant rations. Okay, now and then I guess the other final happening was that at the end of the week on a Sunday, which happened to be National Ice Cream Day. Right, which
So
which
retarded.
Joe Biden is like famous for being really retarded and gimpy about ice cream. It's like, oh, I love ice cream. Yeah, you know, because it's just about all he can eat in his state. Like nothing too.
You
like-
have stolen my childhood.
nothing too hard to chew on, so he just eats ice cream. Anyway, on National Ice Cream Day of all days, he stepped down. I think he even said he's got some sort of. Did he admit to having some sort of disease or something?
He just said, I'm sick, didn't he?
He
I
said,
think
yeah.
is Ian Collins in the chat here saying Mrs. Trump is a man.
Oh, Ian, please
saying
tell me you're not one of those.
Melania Trump.
Are
is
you?
a
You're
man.
not one of those people that puts a triangle to people's face and says if they're a man or a trans humanite. Anyway, so we've got a meme here from Bazman. Kabbalah Harris.
This was funny.
Your NWO presidential candidate. Very good, Baz. Very good indeed. Kabbalah Harris. Oh, yeah, just before I forget, remember, if anyone happens to purchase some garments off the website tonight, and here is the QR code, we will send you a pack of these Rise Above Peasant Juice beer mat coasters with some Rise Above stickers. I might even give you a hand-signed note or a
You
meme.
could purchase a mug from the website and then have a coaster for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've got mugs on there. We've got
I
hats
thought we had
there.
mugs.
No, the mugs are all gone.
I thought it was a thing. You just
No,
buy
we
a
don't
mug.
post mugs out because
All
they
right.
always get smashed.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Unlucky.
But you don't have to buy a T-shirt. You could buy a beanie, hat. We've got loads of other stuff. Yeah.
Oh, there's mugs on Redbubble, the Becky S collection.
Yeah, yeah. Here's how you can get it. Yeah, if you. Oh, yeah. Mugs are on here. Here's the QR code.
Yeah, there we go.
Redbubble.
Try to keep up, Lance, with the
Sorry.
stock.
Sorry. And yeah, you'll get some free coasters. Where were we? The peasant verse. Right. Don't worry. I swear Olympics is coming soon. Literally in a minute. Last meme from Bazman. And obviously. What's that? Okay. Obviously, there is a golden ratio aspect to this happening. You know, the Fibonacci sequence never gets it wrong. If you put, the what is this actually called? It's like the spiral of life. It perfectly aligns with Donald Trump's haircut and exactly the part of his ear that the bullet skimmed off. This
This
has
is
to
brilliant.
It has to be a divine happening. You know, AIX has declared it. This was supposed to happen. It is part of the peasant verse, so we should be happy about it. Right. Now we're on to the subject of the week, which is the Olympics. Now, the reason I guess that we're going to talk about the Olympics is because of the occult aspects. Now, the picture I've got up here isn't from the Olympics. It's actually from the Euros, which was the football tournament that was in Germany.
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago, which we mentioned earlier on. For anyone that doesn't recognise what this symbol is, let me just put it right there. So, yeah, we're going to be looking with an eye to the occult and the esoteric.
There's plenty of it.
The first thing for us to point out is that this is episode 133.
Michael.
It just happens to be that it is one episode 133.
Let me tell you, unbelievable.
And
thanks, Jimmy.
Does anybody know what the number of the Olympics is, which is happening today?
It's 33.
The 33rd Olympics.
33 million.
So that for that reason, that's why we did the show today. Okay. So
we didn't. That just happened.
No, it did. No, you're right. It
And
did. That's what
episode
happened.
133 and Olympics number 33, we said this before the show, was completely synchronistic.
Well, I planned to do the show, and then we realised it was.
Yeah,
episode
that's what I mean.
133,
That just
yeah.
happened. That wasn't us.
Yeah,
Like,
I actually got that wrong. I chose to do the show because the Olympics are on, and then we realised
it was Olympics number 33.
Well, we realised it was episode 133 first, and then someone said, "Oh, it's the 33rd Olympics."
Yeah.
I was like, "Fucking classic." Right. So it's in Paris. Now, we were talking about actually covering the opening ceremony, but as you guys that have been watching it noticed, the opening ceremony only started really getting interesting about 5 minutes before we went live tonight. Okay. So unfortunately,
we'll be doing a separate show for our Peasantron
we're gonna have to,
subscribers.
we'll put that on Peasantron because people have already sent us screenshots, but I've got so much stuff to talk about anyway. We're not really going to talk about the opening ceremony in Paris that we haven't actually seen yet because it's going on right now without preparation. So, okay. So let's just warm it up generally. What weird things have we noticed about the warm-up for the Paris Olympics, the 33rd Olympics in Paris 2024? The first thing that I noticed before I talk about anything on the screen is that this Olympics, at least in the UK, in the mainstream media that I've seen, has hardly been talked about until literally last week.
Yeah.
Has anybody else
Well,
noticed?
I don't subscribe to. The only time I listen to the radio is when we're in a truck at work, and I don't watch the news or read newspapers.
So
apart from on stage, no, I wouldn't offer.
All right, so everyone that's tuned in, for those of you that do keep an eye on the Peasant Stream media, right? Has anybody else noticed, and I'd love to hear from people outside of the UK, that there seems to have been very little build-up, very little razzmatazz, very little actual controversy, which normally surrounds the Olympics, in the build-up.
Bazmataz.
Bazmataz. Has anybody else noticed it? Can someone let me know in the comment section, please? Remember, we like to keep it interactive because I've certainly noticed it. Because the other big Olympics, which we will talk about tonight, is 2012. And that had a huge build-up, which was going on, as I'm going to mention later on, with a bit of a bombshell.
Maybe we noticed that, though, because it was London. So obviously the media would be pumping it more because it's London. Maybe we haven't heard it as much because it's Paris. Becky told me earlier that they're trying to get the young people. That's why they had Snoop Dogg carrying the torch. I know you've probably got that in the Schwab show.
I have, thanks.
But you've got everyone's seen it on social media. Right? But like they're trying to get the young people interested. Yeah, our generation interested in.
Yeah, because
no
one
Olympics.
gives a shit about
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So like you would think that the mainstream media would be pumping.
But I
the
do
peasants'
remember
fair.
when it was 2008 for Beijing and for other ones, there was always some stories about the Olympics, or at least a build-up going on for at least a month or so.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was just saying that there was very little build-up, and it really only started with a week or so leading up to it. So what have we noticed that's weird? This is It's Me on Twitter. NWO alert. France, the entire Eiffel Tower was covered in blood red during yesterday's evening opening ceremony of the Olympic Games. Awaken people know that the cabal will say something with that, so they're saying. And they are also referencing the King's Sausage Fingers blood red painting as well.
Yeah.
Maybe a foreshadowing. Could just be they chose red. On the right here, and this is really true, the lighting of the torch this year in Paris was done by this drag queen, and I do believe I've got a video of this. One sec.
Just why?
I'm not being funny. Like I remember
It's
in the
just
past,
men taking over everything again.
I remember in the past they'd have like someone like riding a chariot, like firing like a
something
bow
a bit
and arrow
cool.
into a fire. Like
No, that's health and safety dance.
and
can't
it,
be
you know,
doing
and it,
that.
would all like, and it was so cool. But that is like, what a joke. So yeah, we're off to a great start. That was a couple of things noticed in the lead up to the Paris Olympics. What else have we got here? So Auntie Koviet posted this. Is this actually taken from Bill Gates' own social media? Time to track down my hat and binoculars for the Olympics. It looks like it possibly is.
And a bra in his hat.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, right? If I saw him in the crowd, you've just got to take one for the team. I know you'd go to jail. You'd probably die, but you'd have to take one for the team, wouldn't
Do you think you'd get anywhere near him?
Well, I
though?
don't know. You'd have to give it a go, wouldn't you?
It'd
If
be
you were
hard-
Ramesh.
it'd be hard not to be honest.
We're not promoting anything like this on the show, but you would.
But Auntie Koviet said he looks like that, like real, like annoying.
You'd at least try to get a
lesbian
pie.
PE
You'd at least
teacher.
try to get him with a pie, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Oh, he's been got before with a pie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You at least try.
Now, Auntie Koviet said he looks like that annoying lesbian PE teacher that you had in middle school in this photo, which I thought was quite funny. Also, who's performing? This is not the most flattering photo I've seen of Lady Gaga and Celine
She always
Dion.
looks weird, but I'll say Celine Dion looks a bit worse.
Well, she's
from
got
right
stiff person syndrome after multiple Britneys, hasn't she?
She does look very skeleton-like there.
Big shout out to Abrasion Equation. I see you there in the comments section saying big up, rise
That's
above.
the new advert for Ozempic.
Big shout out to...
She's got some fucked up child's clothing range, isn't she, Celine Dion?
Yeah, we
It's
showed
very,
that
very
before.
Pizzagate.
It was very Pizzagate,
Yeah.
and it was all like binary colours
Yeah, it's
and
weird as fuck.
but non-binary
Right.
sexual designation for the clothing as well. Very, very weird. So you've got your leading sort of like Black Cube organisation, which is definitely priest class. Is Lady
This is
Gaga.
Marina Abramovic's protege.
Yeah, definitely.
This is the torch is being passed.
And Salon Delon, and who looks very suspect there. That's all I need to say. What were the terrorist scares in the lead up to the Olympics? Because there's always a terrorist plot in the lead up to Olympics normally, or one foiled. So I looked. I was scanning a bit. I only found something from Al Jazeera. A man suspected of planning an attack in the name of ISIS or ISIL at the Saint Etienne football stadium during the Olympics was arrested in May, while a right-wing sympathiser was arrested this month in eastern France on suspicion of plotting attacks.
Suspicion.
There are backups in place should specific concerns arise, blah, 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 blah. Now,
this would be the Secret Service of the country doing its job.
Yeah, well,
wouldn't it be?
Well,
Like,
this is back
stopping
in,
it before it happened.
They intercepted someone back in May.
Yeah,
allegedly.
way before it happened. Yeah.
Now, for anyone that wasn't aware, there's something very unique about the Olympics in Paris this year, or at least the opening ceremony. It's the first time ever that the opening ceremony wasn't contained within the stadium. It's actually on a stretch of the River Seine, which is about 6 kilometres long, this stretch that they're using. And it's going on right now. We haven't seen it.
Yeah. I've seen some pretty weird pictures.
It seems to only be available on TV because, honestly, me and Andy PG, I've been sat
We
since
look-
5:30 looking for streams of it.
All we could find was pictures of the crowd.
They're just pictures of peasants watching it.
Yeah.
And they were all sat in the rain under umbrellas. And the Empress saw it on TV and she's like, oh, right, you need to watch this. The white horses come out, like the horsemen of the apocalypse. And I was thinking, oh, my God, the second seal, Jason. Yeah, okay.
Shout out to Architects.
Which we will be talking about very shortly. Now, on the subject of the River Seine, obviously a 6 kilometre stretch of the river that's going through Paris. Paris is a huge metropolitan city. It's one of the largest cities in the world. You can imagine how many people live in very, very high-priced, luxurious properties along the River Seine.
It's very expensive.
So on the right-hand side here, it says, the immediate vicinity of the riverbank has been shut off since July 18th, which is, 8 days ago, with local residents required to carry permits on a QR code to get to their homes.
Oh, dear. Schwab code.
Yeah, right. So look at that. Just because the Olympics roll into town, even the super rich, with their millions and millions of euros apartments along the River Seine.
They're just peasants with
Yeah,
more
but it's
money.
Yeah,
for their safety, though. That's the thing. It's for your safety. That's what they always use.
It's
isn't
always
it?
for your safety.
Of course. It's
And
definitely
they'll feel
for the safety.
really, really safe.
Hand
The
over
only
your
people-
freedoms
Yeah.
for your safety.
Yeah, because they're living there. They don't want any terrorism on their doorstep, do they? So they'll thank them.
Yeah, but they're probably NPCs who are all too happy to give up their freedoms. If they're living, this is the thing. Like, if the state's been good to you, you'll just do what it says.
It's interesting with those with the most freedom are often the most willing to give it up.
Yeah,
because they don't appreciate it properly.
Yeah.
You know, people that live in £1 million properties that live on the River Seine, you know, that can park anywhere because they don't care about parking tickets. You know, €50. Oh, what the fuck? You know, those people have maximum freedom.
Yeah.
So they probably don't appreciate it, and they think a QR or a Schwab code is a good move. Interesting. So I thought that was just an interesting little point.
They probably like it because everyone else hasn't got that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be in their own posh little 15-minute city.
Oh, I need a Schwab code to get in my house.
Yeah, where's your QR code, you peasant?
I have to show this to Jeeves at the front gate.
No. That's what... Obviously, I've been researching the show for the last 2 weeks and trying to put as much together as I could. But right up until today, I didn't have this because it happened today. That's the way the world works, isn't it? Pretty much. A massive sabotage attack against France's high-speed railway network on the opening day of the Paris Olympics.
Shout out to Jason RKX, he called it.
He did call it. Arson attacks against critical infrastructure in several places and a major hacking attack. Thousands of passengers are stranded across the country.
So that's just one...
Russia, question mark.
Yeah. This is just one little pocket of chaos, which has been called. So RKX actually said that he called this ages ago, that he said there will be a rise of anti-Semitic hatred followed by an event.
It's just a Jewish high-speed train.
some kind of anti-Semitic terrorist attack of sorts.
Come on!
But you also said that the breaking of the second seal involves the night of the...
An arson attack? I wonder, have people been injured or what? Is this
No. This is against train infrastructure. So people basically have gone to control boxes for the high-speed train and burnt them down, melted them to the ground.
Right, okay.
They've cut data cables. They said whoever
I
done
mean,
this...
this could just be some peasant who's had enough of being late for work and they've got to get the train.
Well, they've said that whoever did this has got like inside knowledge of the way that because they know exactly what to go for. The delays are allegedly so bad it's even affecting trains at Waterloo that are like 2 hours late, because like a backlog. So people are saying, well, this person here, Visegrad 24, which is some news station, Russia ?
Visegrad.
So here's a little timeline of what happened. PM vows to find and punish Olympic saboteurs. Follow the latest. Key moments. 9:15 a.m. The French are under attack. 9:28 a.m. All Eurostar trains to Gare du Nord, which is the North Station in Paris, are disrupted. There are 4 big stations in Paris, North, South, East and West. It's very easy. 11:10. Disruption to the whole weekend. SNCF boss says by 11:20, they've mapped where the attacks took place, and by 23 minutes past 12, 1 in 4 Eurostar trains cancelled over the weekend. This is a big attack. So they've got soldiers outside of the station there. So, as far as I'm concerned, Jason's prediction has come true, because he also talked about infrastructure attacks as well.
He did.
So this is both. I've read another article where they were
how long's the Olympics on for?
I guess at least a couple of weeks.
So there you go. There's plenty of time for shit to get real.
I also read something.
Hang on. This could be setting up something bigger. You think if the infrastructure's down, people can't get in or out?
Well, what they're saying is this has stopped thousands of people from getting to the Olympics.
I get that, but what I'm saying is if thousands of people in the next week got in and that infrastructure is still down, it's going to be harder for hundreds of thousands of people to exit.
Oh, it's definitely going to have a knock-on effect.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's going to make them a lot tighter on security with all the travel and all the infrastructure, so that you've got all these posh people with the QR codes just to get in their homes. They might be like, right, we need to do something similar for the transport system.
Can we extend the QR code system for another 30 days?
Yeah. And for another 5 kilometre radius.
Yeah.
And only people who live in XYZ place can get on the train, or
in case of another infrastructure attack.
Yeah.
Just for your safety, comrade.
For your safety.
So, funnily enough, the other people that they're trying to blame this on, apart from Russia, is potentially left-wing activist, i.e. Black Bloc, which means Antifa.
Okay.
Which I found was quite interesting, because I thought I would be right.
Shout out to George Soros.
But right-wing protesters wouldn't blow up the trains, would they?
No, they wouldn't.
No, because
they'd use them.
They use the trains to go somewhere and beat someone up or something. Yeah, that's the difference. The left-wing protesters blow up the infrastructure. The right-wing protesters
people still want people to go to work.
They want everyone to go to work. But
they
also need the train to go and beat up the left-wing protesters, don't they? So it's a cycle.
It's a Michael.
It is a Michael cycle, a cycle of infinite Michael.
Raw.
That's good. So, no competition. Why many Russian athletes have refused to compete at the Olympics. Now, I'm not being funny. I thought Russia was banned from sporting events like this anyway.
I thought they were banned from everything, mate.
So, I was under the impression that Russian athletes were able to sort of enter as like sort of independent athletes. I've heard of that before. Maybe that was at the Winter Olympics 2 years ago, because this is kicked off for how many years now? Is it 2020? Yeah, 2022 when Ukraine war started, right? Yeah. So that the Winter Olympics, the Winter Olympics would have been a couple of months after. So that makes sense. It was the last Winter Olympics. The Russians were not allowed to officially enter a team as Russia. So I'm assuming that is the same situation here, and now the individual Russian athletes are refusing to compete at the Olympics. But here we've got, like, I guess these are Ukrainian people,
clearly Ukrainian,
protesting because what? They've allowed Russian athletes, because obviously Russian athletes it's their fault because of Putin.
Maybe they're just kicking up a stink.
Highly retarded. Either way, let's face it.
Well, it's all retarded, lads.
Right, let's try and we're just going with the meat and potatoes here before we get into anything occult. So as usual, the actual the commercial viability of the Olympics is always in question. Does it actually make money, or does it actually just cost money?
They say, whoever they are, they say it brings
three.
Whoever they are, it brings tourism, doesn't it? So surrounding the areas, hotels, businesses, and.
But why are there always
sounds like the World's Fair to me?
World's Fair. Yeah.
But why are there always thousands of tickets left over? I remember this happened in 2012.
Because nobody really gives a fuck about it, do they?
600,000 tickets for Paris Olympics remain unsold. I guess this isn't like yesterday. It might be last week or something. But still, that's a lot of spare tickets. Now, this is not a deliberate linkage here. This is a juxtaposition.
I would say as well, sorry, you mentioned fine. I'd say it's relevant whether it makes money or not. This is a big event that is on the Olympiad calendar. The dark occultists can put a massive ritual out to the public. They're not going to give up an opportunity.
If what Jason Archaic says is true, is how important this ritual is. It's obviously they want as much attention on it as humanly possible. Whether we give away free tickets, whether we give it to you free on TV, peasants, it's just important that you watch it and you care about it.
You take part in some way.
So it's also the first Olympics in history to have an equal amount of male and female athletes.
Are they sure about that?
Yeah. Depends what you class as male and female, I guess. Those categories have clearly been blurred as we go further into clown world. Right, this is where we start to get interesting now. Normally, when you do an Olympic special in a podcast or a show like Rise Above, there aren't many other shows like Rise Above, but
there's no other show like Rise Above.
no competition. You would normally expect us to go deep into the 2012 opening ceremony for obvious reasons, right? We've all seen it.
Yeah.
You know, myself, I was into this stuff way before 2012 happened. So when the 2012 Olympic opening ceremony happened, I was avidly watching it live, completely live as it was happening, literally with a notepad and pen. Like, because I knew there was going to be stuff in it. Now, Jason here from Archaics, Sir Jason of Archaics, 2012 Olympic ceremony was timed perfectly with the ancient Pythian calendar of Delphi, the temple of Apollo. The opening ceremony is an astounding message to those with eyes to see and ears to hear. After the ritual breakdown, you will never see these ceremonies in the same...
never see these ceremonies the same
again. I thought he was going to say the same line.
It's okay, Michael.
Now, Jason last night did such a good breakdown of this. We're not going to talk about 2012 too much.
We don't need to.
And certainly not give a breakdown.
We'll direct everyone to the Archaics video. For that.
You need
really
you need
good.
to see the video that he dropped last night, because I agree with his analysis. Absolutely, it was before, when I first watched it. It was way before I knew about anything about resets, anything about the Phoenix event. Although there's a massive Phoenix in the closing ceremony,
Huge
literally
overlap
a huge
there.
Phoenix. I knew what the Phoenix meant. It meant fiery rebirth and all that kind of stuff, and it was a mythical creature. But I knew when I was watching that ceremony that it was showing some sort of overarching mechanism of the realm that I wasn't yet fully... I didn't know
Educated
about it.
on it.
I wasn't fully educated on it back in 2012 when I watched it, but I knew that it was a huge ritual. And Jason did the ultimate breakdown of it. And in a nutshell, what he basically said was that it was an enactment of a reset, a repopulation. It showed the controllers. It showed
everything.
A previous sort of paganistic peasant class that were... It was basically...
A simple peasant folk.
Now, the official story is that it shows the Industrial Revolution. The guy that wrote it, Danny Boyle, and we're going to show this in a minute.
Well, it kind of does. You could call that an industrial revolution.
We've got a screenshot here. So, July 25th, 24, the 2012 Olympic ceremonies Archaics breakdown, mind-blowing predictive programming and occult ritual. One has to already know the future in order to so clearly show it. Here are 6 of my videos, and this is the background. But what you're seeing here is an opening ceremony where a man has declared we're living in a dream, and then a huge crowd of workers emerge from a mountain and repopulate world and build an industrial revolution amid privileged people already outside of the mountain. So he's saying that it's literally showing a reset.
They came from the underworld.
Yes.
That's
so
what they're saying.
If you want to know about the 2012 opening ceremony in its entirety, because Jason breaks the whole thing down, we fully recommend you go and watch that. However, there are some aspects that Jason didn't mention, which I want to talk about now. Because what led me to really sitting down for the 2012 Olympic ceremony so avidly was some things that I learned 4 years earlier in 2008, which is quite synchronistic because Jason talks about these 4 year and 8 year cycles of the Olympiad calendar. So in 2008, it was the Beijing. And just before I talk about this, yeah, let's just stay with 2012 for a moment, actually. So, the Olympic Games ceremony symbolically predicted the COVID-91 pandemic. This is from Reuters. This is a fact-checking because so many people now, retrospectively, looking back at the 2012 ceremony, believe that there are aspects of it that predict the COVID happenings, right? And it definitely does. Jason broke it down in a way last night which added an extra aspect which most people might not have thought about with regards to the children and the hospital beds and who the children actually are.
The human family.
Yeah, being put under
being
a
attacked
collective
by
spell.
Pharmakia.
Yeah.
Apollo Pharmakia.
I had shivers when I was watching it last night because it is so in line with his breaking of the seal stuff. So, yeah. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch what Jason says and then watch the actual ceremony because he only shows
Whether you
stills.
like Archaics or not, whether you like Jason Brashears or not,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Watch the video, look at the content, and listen to what he's saying. It's the same as Zachariah Sitchin. It's boring as fuck to listen to, but the content, some of it is good.
Okay. So, back to 2008.
And a lot of it's shit.
Big shout out to Auntie Covey on this one because we were talking about this. I came across, actually, it was myself and Oma Beats. We came across a guy called Rick Clay, who is a UK researcher. Let me just find... Yeah, I've got it here. Okay. Oh, he's a UK researcher who actually died in 2008, very, very shortly after he released a glut of research which he'd been doing about the Olympics, about the occult symbology, and particularly with regards to the 2008 and 2012 Olympics. Now, on the right, and I've got it here, I've got his PDF, and anyone can download this. You can find it very easily. It's called The Rick Clay. His name is R-I-K, Rick, and then the word Clay. The Rick Clay PDF. Now, let me just find it here. What he basically shows, it's all very, very well sort of indexed, and there's a glossary and everything. He starts off with the logo of the 2012 Olympics and how basically when you break it down it spells Zion, and he links it in with Jerusalem, London 2012, Zion.
We need to be a bit careful here.
The New Jerusalem. I'm going to be very careful, Andy PG. And it's very clear that if you break down this logo, which I'm going to talk about in more detail in a moment after I've finished with Rick Clay, it does say Zion. You just need to rearrange the letters and you've clearly got Zion. Now, there is a link with the New Jerusalem. It's not... let me just play this video. Where is it? This is taken from the opening ceremony, and there is a very famous... I think it could be described as a hymn, like a religious song, called The New Jerusalem, and it's actually being sung at the opening ceremony. Bear in mind, Rick Clay did this research 4 years before the opening ceremony actually happened.
Turn it off, Lance. Enough. My ears. Yeah.
I just wanted to see people how grand this ritual actually was.
It's hooish. It's very hooish.
In case you haven't seen it. So let me just see if I can get this screen a little bit bigger so you can actually see what we're talking about here. And like I say, I recommend you guys that you download this PDF, the Rick Clay Olympics 2012 PDF.
The PGF.
PGF. You can find it very easily. So I'm not going to go through all of it, but apart from breaking down the logo, he also talks about the street plan. And for anyone that doesn't know, Olympics was in this piece of waste ground in East London, in Stratford, near Docklands. And I actually used to live just around the corner from it when after I was at university. It's sort of like the last piece of wasteland left in London. And it just happened to be left there, and the Olympics came along and they used it. But when you zoom in and you actually look at the names of the roads surrounding the Olympic site, which has got Zion on it, you've got these biblical references and Masonic references like East Cross Route, Carpenter's Road, or aka Joseph Road, Great Eastern Road, reference Eastern Star. There's
East Star.
There's the Angel Road there, or Angel Lane, these are all surrounding the Olympic site. And you've also got Leytonstone Road and Leighton Road. Remember, ley lines.
Yeah.
Right. So he, and we've seen lots of this research. Now, I'm not going to lie. Back in 2008, when I first saw this, shortly before Rick Clay died, which was very shocking after he died literally after we heard about him. There was, we'd seen the ground maps of Washington, D.C. We'd seen that stuff in Zeitgeist where you've got the occult shapes, You know what I'm talking about, PJ?
Pentagrams and yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
whole of Washington DC set out in a cult.
So this sort of made sense to me. And as you go deeper into the PDF, he's obviously talking about, like the logo for the Order of the Eastern Star, how this is linking in, how basically the site is on ley lines. And then, funnily enough, he starts talking about 2008 Beijing Olympics and the logo for that, which also breaks down into Zion. What are the chances? Two logos of two Olympics 4 years apart that both break down into the word Zion. So the reason I'm showing this in relation to Jason's work is because Jason pointed out that this was a huge ritual, and he's talking about it from a reset and a Phoenix event point of view. But remember, the controllers that are currently in place, the Black Cube organization, have their own agendas, and they believe in building their Zion or their New Jerusalem. Yeah, before maybe it's before the Phoenix comes back. Maybe that's what building the temple and sacrificing the heavens. Maybe they're trying to get all this out of the way before the Phoenix returns because they believe it's going to save them or something like that. Who knows? But I find it super interesting that Rick Clay did this research, and it goes on about a lot more stuff. You guys can download this yourself. He's talking about all the symbology and a lot of the background of the Olympics as well. I did send this to Jason in the afternoon of yesterday before he did the show. I don't think he managed to see it before he went live, which is kind of a shame because he might have been able to glean something from this that I haven't. So, yeah, Rick Clay predicted that this is what he said in a nutshell, that at the Olympics 2012 there would be a great hoax perpetrated on mankind that had never been seen before. These were his words because he made a lot of videos as well. Now, if you think about it, what's the definition of a hoax? A hoax can be a show that misleads people.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like a false flag terror attack, yeah? What Rick Clay could have been foreseeing was like a super ritual, which Jason says last night it essentially was.
Which is a hoax.
Which is a hoax, yeah. Now, a super ritual that not only shows...
Or you could say that was the start of the event. Doesn't matter that stuff didn't come to serious fruition for another 8 years.
No, you're absolutely right.
That was still the start of the hoax.
But also, not only was it showing what the realm is, the resets, the repopulation, it was also foreshadowing the greatest hoax, which came in 2020. Because, many things were going on in that. It had the reset stuff, it had the New Jerusalem aspect, it had the building of Zion, it had the controllers like Jason showed with the coming out of the mountain, the Industrial Revolution, all the machines happening. And then it had the NHS bit with the hospital beds and the demons. So whichever way you look at it, it was a super ritual which was also foreshadowing possibly the greatest hoax ever to happen on mankind, which is allegedly what happened in 2020. But remember, if you want to find out what really happened in 2020, you know where to go. It's the World Health Organization website. So we fully recommend, guys, that you do check out the Rick Clay research, because he
rest in peace, brother.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Died from suicide, guys.
Apparently he died from suicide. He was 28 years old. In his last interview, he was very upbeat. He was
healthy young man.
Healthy young man. He was a very kind-hearted person. Apparently, people really love this guy. So it was a great loss.
And then suicide.
Let me tell you, unbelievable.
R.I.P. Rick. So, okay, so let's look what the mainstream media had to say about the super ritual. Okay. A New Jerusalem for everyone. Was the 2012 Olympics the last gasp of liberal Britain? Danny Boyle's opening ceremony. See, that is that a Jerusalem for everyone?
For sure.
So we're not making this up. It's not a conspiracy theory that the theme of this opening ceremony was about a New Jerusalem. This is literally in The Guardian. Danny Boyle's opening ceremony for the London Games was meant to be a celebration of Britain's diverse history and its open-minded values. 10 years later, it seems more like a requiem, which means a song for the dead. That's
Oh,
what
Michael.
Requiem means.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, yeah. Do you remember we did the show called
Oh yeah,
Clown
yeah.
World
And
Requiem?
Requiem for a Dream. Yeah.
So I just find it's very interesting the way this is being written about. Like, yeah, but like it's a ritual. All the kids in the hospital beds. This is an article from 13 years ago, from the same guy. Look, Stephen Rose, 2022, 2010. Wait a minute. This is written in 2010. This is 2 years before the 2012 Olympics.
So this would be this. He probably released this when the Winter Olympics were going on.
Are the 2012 Olympics a plot to take over the world? Some people believe an elite clique will use the games to simulate an alien invasion in their plan for global domination. This is a result of Rick Clay's work.
So he's talking about Project Bluebeam.
Rick Clay made such a such a ripple with what he was talking about that it literally was spoke about in The Guardian by this
This is
guy.
a great way to discredit his research, though, isn't it? To link it to a fake alien invasion.
Absolutely, to mix it up with loads of things that
Yeah.
it wasn't really about. So actually, look, he's saying it here. The in the bottom paragraph, the next giveaway is the street names around the Olympic site: Great Eastern Road, Carpenters Road, Angel Lane, Temple Mills Lane, Church Road. Don't they all seem a little bit biblical? He's talking about the X-Files, Watchmen. This guy's taking the piss.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely taking the piss out of Rick Lay. Doesn't mention him, of course. Even in conspiracy theory terms, the London Olympics plot is a difficult one to swallow, but that hasn't stopped a credulous minority from gulping it down. You'll find on cult conspiracy blogs as at Red Ice Creations.
Cult conspiracy blogs, eh?
Do you remember Red Ice Creations?
No, I don't know.
They started off talking about UFOs and stuff like that. Very high production, a guy and a girl. And then when it got to like before 2016, the last time I checked on them, the guy had a Hitler mustache and a right-wing haircut, with like the side parting.
Excellent.
The bird had like blonde hair with pigtails, and they were proper like white supremacists.
Wow.
So they've done a switch from normal conspiracy theorists going on about government conspiracies, aliens, stuff like that, to literally being neo-Nazis.
Neo-Nazis,
yeah, interesting. Maybe it was written like that from the start. Above top secret. So yeah, you can see. Oh yeah, he's mentioning all of it here: the Bilderbergs, Freemasons, Illuminati. Yeah. Let me just get this back on the screen. So I think this was. I don't know why someone dropped this the week. It was like, everyone's bored. Let's put on the Olympic opening ceremony. So 2008, how the Beijing rockets were used to keep the opening ceremony dry. This links in with the last show we did.
Shout out to Matt Lohman.
Yeah. China's cunning multi-million-pound plan to manipulate the Olympic weather seems to be yielding results. While rain drenched the capital yesterday, the downpour should have fallen on Friday night. So they are literally firing cannons of
shit into the air,
of pollution and sulfuric acid into the air to make it rain.
Or make it not rain.
Or make it, to make it rain first.
So
it doesn't rain later. That's the way the technology works. They can't stop it from raining. There's technology that actually makes it rain.
But they did this so to make it rain previous.
To get the rain out of the cloud.
Right.
So you can see how it goes wrong when you're firing a rocket into the sky that basically agitates the atmosphere to make bad weather happen.
Yeah.
This is how you fuck things up. So I thought that was an interesting link right back in 2008 around the Beijing Olympics. They were using this sort of like ballistic chemtrail technology to make sure they had a clean, dry Olympics. Now, what's quite interesting also going back to 2012 here is that the claims that the logo had Zion in it were not just coming from Rick Clay and other tinfoil hatters, right, who gave their life for the foil. This is like a magazine called Inside the Games. The London 2012 logo is racist, claims Iran, and threatens to boycott the Olympics if they don't change the logo. So even
Iran as a nation, is saying that it's
have
saying
decided that
Zion.
this logo was too hooish.
Yeah.
We cannot accept this.
We can't
logo.
interact with the whoishness. It's too much.
We're not coming to the Zion Games. We're just not going to have it. So I think that was very interesting. Iran has threatened to boycott the London Olympics 2012 unless the organisers replace the official logo, which Tehran claims spells out the word Zion. A logo, a jagged representation of the year 2012, has been said by its critics to resemble many things from a swastika to a sexual act, but the Iranian government argues it represents a veiled pro-Israeli conspiracy.
I'd say it represents all of those things.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't it? You just schwab it all together for maximum effect.
It's been schwabbed.
Absolutely.
What the fuck else is it?
Well, let's face
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's too abstract. Like this is.
Okay, so let's go a little bit more mainstream here. The branding blunders, the 2012 London Olympics logo controversy. This is in July 2012, literally as it was happening. What is wrong with the 2012 London Olympics logo? So they're basically saying for every Olympic Games, they have a logo which sort of encapsulates something about the place and something about the Olympics.
I'd say Zion encapsulates London pretty well.
Yeah, I guess that's the fact that people just don't want to live up to, isn't it? But so what we're getting towards here
is the banking capital of the world. Who owns the banks?
Zion.
There you go. It's not that hard to get your head around.
What we're getting at here, that there was almost like universal like hatred for this logo. No one likes it. The general public didn't like it. The media didn't like it. The conspiracy theorists hated it. Even the country of Iran, like, universally said no to this logo. And this started like way before, because this logo came out in 2008. And I'm just going to say, when does the logo come out 4 years before? That's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah.
So if Rick Clay...
Did the others come out 4 years previous?
I don't think so. But if Rick Clay was talking about it in 2008 and died for it, then he obviously had time to do his research. So why didn't they change it? Why did they go with this logo?
Because it was important. It said Zion.
Obviously, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Why is it so important to go with... here's the swastika one. Look at this headline. Check this shit out. The London Olympics logo triggers epilepsy.
This is brilliant. We were talking about this the other night.
Yeah. And obviously, we've got the swastika one here on the left, the spoof protest and conspiracy, the London 2012 anti-logos. There was whole pages of spoof London 2012 logos because it was so hated. So I guess and this is in the Rick Clay PDF, but I did my own.
The Rick Clay archive.
The archive. Who's behind it? The company behind the logo is called Wolf Olsen or something like that. Now, the major part of this is Michael Wolf,
and he was born in 1933.
Michael. Yeah, well, he was born in 1933 to Russian parents fleeing the post-Soviet revolutionary persecution. I wonder if he's a member of the Black Cube organisation.
Of course he is.
Yes, of course he is.
You got that volume down on that nice and quick there, Michael.
Yeah, I did.
You see, be careful with the Michael.
My control of that, Michael.
Yeah.
It's good. Now, this is the guy here, Michael Wolf, and his first and only biography, delving deep into 6 decades of iconic branding. This guy is so big in the world of high-level corporate branding, graphic design. He is the absolute daddy of this shit.
He designed. Have you got some designs that he's done, Lance? Here we go.
The other one, which I didn't manage to get in the Schwab show, is the logo for Shell Corporation.
Yeah,
we've
discussed that a couple of times here.
Yeah,
the logo for Shell Corporation it's not a shell; it's a window, and you're looking through the window out onto a rising sun. That is 100% social engineering, occult marketing. Because what happens in the psyche, you need your subconscious needs the sun. The sun's the giver of life. Without the sun, we wouldn't be alive, because plants wouldn't grow. We couldn't eat. So that's why your subconscious needs the sun. That's why the sun is in so many logos of mainstream corporations.
It's in the rising.
Yeah,
it's in the Rise Above logo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's why we chose it. It's like one of the original symbols, along with like the swastika.
So this guy,
The Jew star.
my point is, this guy knows exactly what he's doing
Absolutely.
when he designs a logo on a psychological level for
Yeah.
the subconscious, because he's clearly a social engineer.
This guy doesn't make any mistakes.
No,
And-
not
and
at
even
all.
if the whole world hated his logo, there's no way he was going to change it. Not
No.
in a million years. That's what I'm talking about.
Because it's designed to do something. So therefore, if it's designed to give you epilepsy, it will give you epilepsy.
Unbelievable. Oh yeah, and just before I forget, just so I can catch my breath and have a bit of a drink. This is very short, but it was alleged that Russell Brand was was playing the child catcher in the 2012 ceremony, and some people are like, no, it wasn't. Like, that's been made up. I found it.
It's 100% Russell Brand.
He's talked about it on the show.
The very fact they had a child catcher in there in the first place.
It was definitely Russell
I
Brand.
wonder if somebody like this gentleman here, I wonder who designs the rituals, like the choreography, and like I wonder who, because they've got to be, they're a fucking spellcaster.
Well, for London 2012, it was Danny Boyle.
Danny Boyle. Well, he did what? Design
The whole opening ceremony. He directed and
did he?
Yeah, he was the auteur. Yeah.
So he's 100% a dark occultist.
100%. Yeah, because
Like
his work is the proof at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Same as this dude.
So wait a minute. Let's see. For anyone that doesn't know who Danny Boyle is, let's just Jamie that shit.
You put Deanie Boyle here.
Oh, that'll be all right. Danny Boyle. Okay, one sec. Let me just get that on the screen over here. So Danny Francis Boyle is an English director and producer. He's known for his work in films including Shallow Grave, Train Spotting, and the sequel to Train Spotting, The Beach, 28 Days Later, Sunshine, Slumdog Millionaire, Steve Jobs and Yesterday. Yeah, he's a UK guy.
He's a big player.
He's a big player. He let me share the screen so you can see it. Here it is. Yeah.
Yeah, his work speaks for himself.
Yeah,
speaks for itself in the
You have to be
the ceremony.
You have to be an occultist. You have to be in the club to some level to be able to produce something like the London.
I'd say he
2012.
was up there in a fairly high level.
He wouldn't have been picked for the job if
no,
he wasn't. at the
He
end
would
of the
have
day.
actually been seeking approval from his Dark Masters.
That would have got him major brownie points.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah.
So here's a good post here from Jason Christoph. Olympic, you can break it down, or you can rearrange the letters rather to I comply. Words can cast spells, thus the word spelling. Words can cast a curse, thus the phrase cursive writing. Write and write sound the same, as he who masters writing can often appear right to the uninformed. The Olympics is where the game of divide and conquer begins, as humans are conditioned to believe that they're different from each other, so they can fight against each other in battle. First on the playing field and then on the battlefield, chaos and trauma are their powerful weapons. Conquer their minds and then their bodies. After that, their slavery is guaranteed. Jason Christoph. So I thought that was quite fitting and a different take on sort of like the etymology of the word Olympic and what the Olympics sort of stand for. It is the ultimate bread. It's the original bread and circuses, isn't it? It's the original day one bread and circuses. So who else apart from Celine Dion and Lady Gaga were part of the opening ceremony, which we haven't actually had a chance to watch yet? Snoop Dogg was carrying the Olympic torch. I guess they like fashioned like a massive spliff in the shape of an Olympic torch for Snoop Dogg to get in there.
I think they're just trying to get our generation in with Snoop, and obviously like Lady Gaga and Celine Dion are people our age and a little bit older. I'm surprised we've not seen like Ice Spice or whoever the fuck carrying some torches around or something. I don't know. We've not watched
What's that really shit slutty one? Sexy Red. Sexy Red slut
No,
drop
she's a
in with
Trump
the Olympic
supporter. She's not gonna be allowed anywhere near it.
No, but maybe now after he's been shot, now maybe being a Trump supporter is cool. Maybe that's acceptable now. I think there has been this
They need
Clanwell
a
shift.
celebrity for every generation because they're trying to get as many eyes on it as possible, aren't they?
Well, I can't remember who said it, but someone's posted last week after the Trump shooting was that whatever you think about it, the fact is that everyone's talking about it, and really you could argue that there's an election that no one cared about before that happened, but now people care about it. You know, because they're invested, because they've seen Trump get shot and go, yeah, like that.
People
You
were
know?
caring about it when they couldn't pay their bills and their food was costing 3 times as much. I think that was when they started caring about it.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't think that, well, you know, it's all about attention. So at the end of the day, that shooting brought a lot of more attention back. So, yeah, Snoop Dogg carrying the Olympic torch. You mentioned this earlier on, I think.
I said to Becky, I'd love it if he lit a spliff off it.
I was saying it should be like a massive spliff, the actual torch itself.
Yeah.
Especially for Snoop Dogg.
For sure.
That's the kind of thing they do. So they mentioned earlier on. Oh yeah, here we are. This is the graph that shows that that meme earlier on was correct. Back in 1900, only 2.2% of the athletes at the Olympics were women. And over time, obviously that has increased, and now we've met complete, absolute equality, comrades, with 50% men and 50% women athletes.
Of course, you need it, Lance.
Absolutely, the same as
we've seen that with the Secret Service.
Yeah, I was about to say the same as it's absolutely essential with Secret Service agents for them to be at least 50% women as well, no matter what their qualifications are, because that's the way to keep things safe. Right, so this is a very interesting little juxtaposition that we found, because there's always controversies at the Olympic.
Shout out to Becky S. She found these.
Yes, thank you very much, Becky S. The Olympic Village, where the athletes stay, often is a point of interest for the media in the lead up to the Olympiad Bread and Circus Fest, right?
They want to know who's fucking who.
So on the left, we've got Paris Olympics 2024. The Japanese gymnastics captain Shoko Miyata withdraws from games after violating code of conduct by smoking. Literally, she smoked a cigarette. Mm-hmm. She is the captain of the Japanese team, and she had to withdraw from the whole games. I just want to make that very clear before I move to the right-hand side of the screen.
I'll take this one, Lance.
Go on, yeah, give me a break.
Convicted paedophile competing at Olympics Games to steer clear of athletes' village. So we've got a convicted paedophile here. Becky, yes, you know the details on this. Do you want to elucidate a bit more?
I can't remember the exact. I think he got out after a year.
He got 4 years, didn't he?
Yeah, 4 years. He got let out after only serving a year. And he raped a 12-year-old.
He flew to the UK to meet a 12-year-old girl he started chatting to on Facebook. He's from the Netherlands.
And it was very important that he knew how old this girl was before flying over.
Yeah, the athlete was 19 at the time and knew... Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's what it says there.
That's the crucial bit.
But he's allowed, and the smoker is not.
This is your double standards.
Wow.
I mean, obviously, the Japanese take things quite seriously.
Poor old Shoko Miyata probably just needed a ciggy. She probably had a tough day training in the evening.
The sponsors just couldn't take it, seeing someone smoke a cigarette.
A convicted fucking paedophile rapist on the lineup.
Fucking hell.
This is clown world, guys. This is
really,
ultimate
really
clown
bad.
world. This is like
I was
going to
say something about the fact he's from Holland then, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to offend.
No, we love the Dutch.
We love the Dutch, but let's be honest. That things like paedophilia, because of the open, like the very.
It's no different here, mate.
No, but I mean, like because of like the pornography and stuff. When we've looked into like sort of like those sort of countries in Europe that are, sort of are very lax on that, it does open the door for what is acceptable.
Like Leon and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
But you've got to have some self-control if you're going to partake in that kind of viewing.
And I'm sure if we have any viewers from the Netherlands, they would agree that, you know, their upper echelons are filled with pedos the same as everywhere else. So, yeah, we looked at some of the sponsors. We thought, you know, it's always due diligence to follow the money.
Due diligence, guys.
Yeah. Due diligence. So, no surprises. It's like, yeah, Coca-Cola, Atos, which is the global leader in decarbonised digital These are some of the main sponsors. But, what did we find when we looked through the webpage of all the different partners and sponsors? It was all like alphabetical.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there was a few in there, big ones.
There was
like
shitloads.
Coca-Cola, but there was
Intel,
ones.
Panasonic.
There was ones that
MasterCard.
we'd never even heard of either. Like
it was sort of like every large French company, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
which you can understand.
McDonald's was one. I think McDonald's was one.
We didn't see Skynet or anything like that, but it might as well be, because you just see every other large corporation in the world. So I think what we're trying to get at here is, like, even if
there wasn't as many mainstream like Coca-Cola, Panasonic, I thought there would have been more that we would
maybe
have
because they
recognised.
know now that the Olympics make so little money because it doesn't sell any tickets. They have to give away the footage for free. The only way they can really make money is by having loads of sponsors that advertise there and have their logos everywhere, programming the peasants.
But what would be the point of that if nobody's going to watch it?
Well, I think people do watch it because it's free.
Because it's free. But
But
they're not going to buy tickets and go to it.
But the point I'm making is, unlike other large sporting spectacles, it's not a commercial endeavour.
No.
Instead
for
of
sure.
making
Yeah,
a
yeah,
shitload
yeah.
of money out of it, like they do out of football and stuff like that, they're actually
They're
spending.
probably doing it for a tax write-off.
Spending a shitload of money on this, and that's why they have to have so many sponsors. I think it is probably quite a good argument. Right. So that sort of concludes the Schwab show. Right. So let me just get rid of that. Now, let's just have a little rewind before we show the final section of the show, which is actually recorded, and a very important point here to get to. The reason it's recorded is because it was on Peasantron, and when we do our actual research for the show on Friday nights, right now, we are going to record it and upload it to Peasantron. So if you are a subscriber, you get it early. So people that have already subscribed, they saw this like 3 or 4 weeks ago when we decided we were going to do this show. Now, we thought it would be a good idea, if we're not going to concentrate on 2012, which we decided not to, even before Jason smashed it last night, because everyone else had already done it anyway.
Yeah, loads of people.
Not at his level, but they'd already done it. We thought, me, Andy PG, and Becky S will come around here on a Thursday night, and we'll look through various other, opening ceremonies, and we'll look at the year, and then we'll think about what happened in the years afterwards. And we'll see if anything clearly gets predicted. That was the basic plan, right?
Yeah. Before we'd scan through and we'd just record it.
And I think it was a 2-hour video. So if you want to see the kind of videos like that we do, which you don't see on any of the other channels, you need to subscribe to the Peasantron. And the QR code is right here. It's only £3 a month. And it's a great way to support us because we're halfway to our target now. We've got 50 subscribers. When we get 100 subscribers, it covers all of our costs, all the streaming costs, which is like £100 a month when we have to buy the package, all the different software bills. We're halfway there. So, yeah, big up all the Peasantron massive. Now, we looked through lots of different ceremonies, didn't we? Going back right to the start
for
pretty
the whole
much.
evening, yeah.
Various different years, and it was Becky's idea to look at what would be the Olympics just before 9/11.
Yeah, that's right.
We thought that would be an obvious one, yeah? So it happened to be the very year before it, the year 2000, which was Sydney. Now let's just have a little think about what Jason said last night. He said that this was a ritual showing the nature of the realm that's cyclical, one population being replaced with another, controllers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Resets.
And resets, and sometimes foreshadowing future events.
Yeah.
Now, I think we might have found something in the 2020 Sydney opening ceremony. The video we're about to show is actually 50 minutes long, and it's us guys sat right here analysing the video. So it's just going to be a recorded video. I'm not going to ruin it too much, but bear in mind what we've said about resets, controllers, foreshadowing, and check this one out.
So we did this 4 weeks prior to this.
4 weeks to prior to Jason's video, 4 weeks prior to today. Actually, before we play it, I'll just say we're going to be back in 2 weeks' time with customer services.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a special guest in the studio who's going to give a massive insight into crop circles.
Michael.
Which is going to be very, very interesting. There will be a recorded show next week. All right, okay, here we go. This is the Peasantron video, 51 minutes. What did we find in the 2020 Sydney opening ceremony?
Enjoy, peasants.
Why is it black like that?
There's the tide coming
Right.
in.
I'll reload it a little bit. Oh, it's black for a few seconds. I'm just going to let you lot know this hasn't got juicy yet. This is literally just showing like what I reckon is to do with like the Great Barrier Reef. So this little girl has had a dream. She's fallen asleep and she's having all of these visions of what Australia means. And this is obviously like the Great Barrier Reef. And in a minute, you'll see Aboriginal people come out. But after the Aboriginal people come out, that's where it starts to get really interesting. Let's go a bit further.
So, I mean, this is all a bit Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Masks on in the background.
Oh, yeah. 2000. What is that? Are they on... I'm just using my finger here to count 1, 2, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8. Is that an octagon or a hexagram? I guess it's got to be an octagram if
8, yeah.
Octagon, if there's 8 of them.
Go on, hit it again. They've all got masks behind.
They're paint, yeah. Well spotted. Look at the lips, profile lips of the guy here. It's painted on mask.
And all of the ones chasing them.
I'm just looking at some of the comments at this point. 23 years ago and still one of the most beautiful, memorable, touching and amazing opening ceremonies of all time.
Yeah, okay, Dan. Click on the comments and see about that.
As a volunteer for the Sydney 2000 Olympic Games, it will be a night I will never forget. Ianopoulos Popolopoulos. My father was sail measurer.
This cunt here is a fucking volunteer for the London 2012 Olympics.
Oh, look, these bots. These bots, do you reckon? I was a volunteer at the London 2012 Olympics. This is a night I will never forget. Best night of my life. Maybe, yeah. This is like a Soviet droid 33. How did she get the gig? What did one person fall out at the last minute? I mean, they couldn't find another person to fill the gap. Well, we'd have to get Karen. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Because this is obviously very clearly about Aboriginal people.
Yes.
This is Sydney, Australia, right? Is that just
She identifies as Aboriginal.
Is that well? Okay, maybe
It's
she.
it's
We have to be real.
24
Maybe
years ago.
maybe she put on her CV. She has some Aboriginal blood. Identifies
She did a
Aboriginal.
23 and me, and she's got in.
Still, it seems a bit weird.